This is a special presentation from News Channel Nebraska.
Despite a bit of a rainy evening here in Scotts Bluff, the best of the best in the West are getting set to take center stage for the 41st annual Western Nebraska All-Star football game. We welcome you into News Channel Nebraska's coverage of this matchup here tonight between the East and the West of the Western Nebraska All-Stars, and we would like to thank our presenting sponsors of this game for you here tonight, as tonight's game brought to you by Cozad Telephone Company, here for their local and rural customers today, tomorrow, and years to come. And tonight's game is also presented by your local Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. This is Alex Loroff down on the sideline. We will have Chris Williams. And in the booth, I am joined alongside a longtime head coach out here in this area, also a former head coach of this game, former two-time head coach of this game, Mr. Terry Gilliland. Terry, thank you so much for joining us here for this broadcast tonight from Bearcat Stadium. And this is just such an incredible opportunity for these athletes to come out and participate one last time in high school football, play with their teammates, play against their rivals, but all in the spirit of just great competition here for the 41st straight year.
Yeah, thank you. I'm kind of excited, but you know, all the players in Western Nebraska, that's one of the main things they look forward to or try to get picked for this game. So
absolutely, it's going to be a great matchup as we have over 60 athletes representing over 30 schools here at Bearcat Stadium, and we are a couple of minutes away from the opening kickoff between the East team and the West team. We will give you all of the breakdown of all the players, all of the coaches, all of the teams as well that will be represented here today. But first, we will be talking to two of the head coaches, the two head coaches of these two teams, head coach Jimmy Rhodes for the West team and head coach Brian Cargill for the East team. Our Chris Williams had a chance to talk with both coaches before the game, so we'll take a quick timeout, and when we come back, we will send it to Chris on the sideline to talk with both head coaches ahead of tonight's Western Nebraska All-Star football game.
You are a Nebraska farmer. You defined tough. You pushed the limit. You gave it all you had. And when you got to the end of the field, you turned around and we were there behind you every step of the way. Our success is measured by our understanding of your farm. It is measured in your trust in us at Aurora Cooperative. Tougher together, Aurora and you.
Considering a suspension lift kit or leveling kit for your truck or Jeep? T.O. Haas Tire can help you rise above whatever lies across your path with lift kits by BDS and Zone, backed by the best warranties in the business. Our hardcore 4x4 division carries and installs lifts, lockers, winches, springs, shocks, everything you need to make your 4x4 stand out in a crowd. So go ahead and attack those trails and rivers with the help of T.O. Haas Tire.
T.O. Haas Tire and Auto, a tradition of trust.
College can be a big expense, but Wayne State makes it easier. As a first-generation student, looking at different colleges, you have to look at the price tag. Wayne State really offers you that affordability, but at the same time, Wayne State education is really sought after by employers across the state. So it's a really great chance to get a great degree, but still come out of it with little to no debt.
Wayne State College. Get started at explorewaynestate.college.com.
Welcome back here in Scotts Bluff. I'm here with Coach Cargill for a T.O. Haas coaches interview. Now, you're the coach of Cozad. Today, you're the coach of the East team. Can you kind of talk about the importance of having games like this?
Well, I enjoy seeing the kids have another opportunity to kind of show off their skills and kind of relive, the good things they did in high school. And great opportunity, and Scotts Bluff does a great job out here.
Okay, well, we were doing some background research. We were looking through some of the stats in the years, and we came across a familiar name back in 1992. Can you tell me about that game?
Yeah, we came out here. I was moored. The line used to go to about 281 back then, and I got nominated for the game and came out and was defensive MVP of the game, but I had some great guys around me, some really good players in front. It was a fun time. I really enjoyed it.
And how does having the experience yourself affect your approach coming in here, maybe what you tell the players getting ready this week and so on?
Well, it's a positive experience, so that's the kind of experience I want to give the kids too as well. Come out, everybody wants to win them, but at the end of the day, it's for the kids. We need to make sure we have proper perspective on that. And the kids, I had great kids this week. They were awesome. Hard-working kids, great attitude, great effort, so very pleased.
And there's a handful of Cozad kids on your roster, so what is it like to have one more chance to coach them and then also to coach some of these guys maybe you competed against, some rivals, some guys you heard about all year?
Yeah, when you get kids there in an all-star game, they're all talented. They're all hard workers. They're all football savvy, those types of things. And so that's fun from a coach's standpoint. Things move a little faster, okay, especially during installs. But it's fun to watch them just showcase their talents, get out and have fun.
Now, it is an all-star game. It is about fun, but are we expecting it to be, fooling around, or is it going to be competitive? Is this going to be real football?
No, it's going to be competitive. This game has always been very competitive. And so the kids come out. There's some trick plays in there I'm sure that both teams have, kind of those one-hitters you hope you hit for a long one or a touchdown or whatever. But, it's going to be serious. It's going to be hard hitting up front, and it'll be fun.
Well, we saw a few of those trick plays during walkthrough earlier, so I'm excited to see you bust them out here. We're going to take another break. When we come back, we'll have Coach Rhodes with the West AllStars.
Nebraska, remembering our past with a vision for the future and committed to progress with strong infrastructure, the ideal location for growth and development. And that would not be possible without Cozad Telephone Company. With gigabyte fiber to homes and businesses in town, they offer fast and reliable internet, plus 24/7 customer service, managed Wi-Fi routers, and bundling options that let you save. And Skitter TV with over 230 of your favorite channels. Locally owned since 1902, Cozad Telephone is here for their local and rural customers today, tomorrow, and years to come.
You are a Nebraska farmer. You defined tough. You pushed the limit. You gave it all you had. And when you got to the end of the field, you turned around and we were there behind you every step of the way. Our success is measured by our understanding of your farm. It is measured in your trust in us at Aurora Cooperative. Tougher together, Aurora and you.
Welcome back. We have another T.O. Haas coaches interview lined up here now, talking to the West AllStar head coach, Coach Rhodes. He's the coach of Mitchell right now, but for tonight,
yes.
West AllStars. What can you say about a game like this and what it means to the community?
I'll tell you the truth, it isn't just our community, it's all the communities from the east to the west, and to see our guys come together and become one unit, it's been very exciting, and I'm very proud of how they've all just reached into each other's hearts, and they've taken it in as a brotherhood.
Now, looking through your background, you've coached a few places here in Nebraska, but you've also coached out of the state. What can you say about football in Western Nebraska?
It's important. Kids, they look forward to playing in these games from junior high on. They strive to play for coaches. They want to wear their father's number on the field. Those are the things that Western Nebraska football makes it so great.
Mm-hmm. And I've been getting a little bit of an old-fashioned vibe from both you and Coach Cargill, kind of that hitting hard, that tough football. Is that kind of all of Western Nebraska?
I'm going to say it's just Nebraska football in general, but I'll tell you, the guys we got on our field that are from little tiny 6-man, 8-man schools and 11-man schools, they want to hit you in the mouth. And you're going to see some guys popping tonight from both sides.
Now, this is the last game a lot of these seniors are going to play. It's definitely their last high school game. It's also your last game as a head coach. So what does this game kind of mean to you, one last go at it?
Honestly, I've enjoyed it more. Win or lose, I've enjoyed the whole week. The relationships I've built with these guys, the coaches from the other side, the look back and getting all the messages from other schools and guys I've coached with, kids I've taught. It's been really positive. It's just time to get out of the way and let some of these young guys do their thing. And tell you the truth, I've enjoyed it this week though.
Well, we're excited to see you have one last go at it and see what you bring tonight. Thanks for talking to us, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
We're getting closer and closer to game time. Stay with us on
I
NCN.
do love Wayne State College. It feels like home. I don't feel like I'm out of place. It's not too big. It's not too small. Campus is big enough that I'm still meeting new people. I'm still learning about new faces and names, but I'm always seeing people that I can wave and say hi to. It's the best fit for me. When I visited the campus back in my senior year of high school, this is where I knew I wanted to go right away. When I got in that car and I was driving home, I told my parents, this is where I'm going, and I don't need to look anywhere else.
Wayne State College. Get started at explorewayneStateCollege.com.
Welcome back. We are at Bearcat Stadium here in Scottsbluff for the Western Nebraska All-Star Game. Yeah, we're talking football in June. And on the way out here, I was talking to Alex Loroff about how it kind of felt like a bit of an appetizer for the upcoming football season. But after spending the day talking to some of the players and coaches playing in the game, this is really dessert. This is one last chance for these seniors to come out here with a few of their teammates, a few of their rivals, and compete under the lights. Now, there's 62 players on the roster. About 28 of them have plans to play at the next level, but they all had kind of the same consensus. There's nothing quite like Nebraska high school football, so they're out there, they're making the most of one last chance under the lights. So game time is getting closer and closer. Let's go up to Alex and Terry up in the booth, and let's get this thing going.
Thank you so much, Chris. We welcome you back up into the booth here at Bearcat Stadium. Again, this is Alex Loroff alongside Terry Gilliland, as we are just a couple of minutes away from the opening kickoff between the West team versus the East team for the Western Nebraska All-Star football game. It will be the West that will receive the opening kickoff. And Terry, we mentioned it a little bit before, the fact that you have coached in this game before, coached multiple times in this game before. What was that experience like for you to be able to come out here and coach these athletes? A lot of athletes in this game is their last high school experience, their last high school game they're going to play. So what was that experience like coaching those young men through their possibly final time and for the chance to represent this portion of Nebraska?
Well, it was great. You get to coach kids that you've competed against before, and you get to meet a lot of new coaches, a lot of friends, and they're both on the playing side and the coaching side. You meet a lot of people that are kind of friends for life. So it's a great time.
Was it tough at all as far as only having a couple of days to prepare everyone, or was it more the fact that everyone was kind of on the same page as far as just going out there and playing the best they could?
You know, that's interesting. We started off, came in on a Saturday, had a whole week, and then we went to Sunday, and then we went to Monday. This is the first time we've gone down that we haven't reported till Wednesday. And the coaches so far have said there's enough time. You know, I think it's just about right.
Absolutely, and we will see how prepared both teams are, as we saw some walkthroughs earlier today as we were getting set for this matchup. And with that, we are underway between the East and the West teams in the 2019 Western Nebraska All-Star football game as the kickoff is received, and trying to make some moves right up the middle. A great return there for Zane Anthony on the return for the West, as they will start right about just past the 30-yard line as we begin this game. And as you see, the Faith Regional Aurora Co-op Health Services scoreboard, 0-0 on the scoreboard, and we are getting set to go. The West will start things off.
That was a good run by the kid from Kimball. I think maybe this first play you might look for something a little bit different.
Indeed, Zane Anthony from Kimball, the Kimball Longhorns, who went 4-4 during the regular season. Zane Anthony, 640 rushing yards during the regular season as the West team takes the field. Shotgun setup to receiver set. That's Eric Dottie. He will go with the option play initially, but then trying to get it deep down the right side of the sideline, but just nothing there for Dottie as he was looking down the right sideline there for Trent Reed. Ball's incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the West's 33-yard line.
That was Keegan Reifschneider, the
Indeed.
do-everything player for the Scottsbluff that was intended for. I think he hurt something there because he came out of the game. He hurt his wrist in the Shrine game, so we'll see.
Yeah, looking down on the sideline there, Keegan Reifschneider, the Scottsbluff senior, looking at his wrist there, but nonetheless, it is 2nd down and 10 for the West. Shotgun setup. The handoff is to the left side, then up the middle it goes. For not a lot of the gain there for Evan Fisher out of Chase County, the former Chase County Longhorn, gaining a 3-yard pickup, making it 3rd and 7 for the West.
Yeah, he was a great football player for Chase County, and the coaches all week in practice have been singing his praise. So we'll see what happens.
Evan Fisher during this season, 467 rushing yards with 3 rushing touchdowns. In his career, 918 rushing yards with 7 rushing touchdowns for the Longhorns. As we get a look at our replay there, just nowhere for Fisher to go. Did the best that he could there with what little room he had to operate with. So 3rd down and 7 for the West. Dottie will take the snap, and the handoff is again to Fisher. Has a nice hole, and he bursts through for a 1st down. Big carry by Fisher. On the stop there was Nick Neeson, but what a burst through the hole there by Fisher.
You know, I think that was a good play call by Coach Rhodes, I think everybody's expecting a pass. 3rd and about 7. They ran looked like a little counter tray.
A 13-yard pickup for Evan Fisher, 16 yards now overall for the former Longhorn. Keeps the drive alive for the West. First down and 10 from the West's own 49-yard line. 3 receivers set. 2 backs in the backfield with Dottie. Handoffs again to Fisher, but a great tackle there by Blake Hoffmaster. The Cozad haymaker going low and getting Fisher down for very little gain, if any. It will go for no gain. Blake Hoffmaster was one of the standouts of the haymaker defense during their 2018 campaign, where they went on a nice 5-game winning streak, but lost the last 2, lost in the district championship to Adams Central, while Blake Hoffmaster nonetheless a big part of that haymaker defense and making a nice play there. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 for the West. Actually, they will give Fisher a yard on that play, so make it 2nd down and 9. Stoddy looking to hand it off there to Jake Lemon, but we have whistles here by the officials. Might be a false start.
They called time.
Indeed, it will be a timeout called by Coach Jimmy Rhodes of the West team. And as we are about a couple minutes into the first quarter, we would like to remind you to enjoy the game presented by United Healthcare. So Coach Rhodes obviously not liking what he was seeing, at least initially, on that setup there, so wanted to call a timeout just to talk things through with his team, and that kind of is part of only having a handful of days to really get that offensive game plan together with your team. But Coach Rhodes said he had a great group of kids, had a great couple of days of practice sessions with these guys, so just making sure that everyone's on the same page here.
Yeah, that was play they just tried to run was jet sweep, and that's one of those plays that might be hard to get down in a couple days of practice, particularly the way a lot of teams want to run this out of the shotgun. They have to, that center snap has to be just right, and the guy going in motion has to be just right. So.
And that's tough to do with all that coordination with a lot of guys who obviously really haven't played with one another. You have maybe a couple teammates here and there, but a lot of guys who are very new with how each other plays, especially at those skill positions. As Dottie will line up under center, toss out to Fisher to the right side. Great blocking out in front, but just nowhere for Fisher to go as he was brought down by a group led by Grayson Gary out of Broken Bow. Dalton partial row there as well. And trying to apply some blocking out in front was Tommy Bragg, but really just Fisher nowhere to go after Gary able to shake that block attempt from Bragg.
Yeah, the East team defensive end has shut down 2 different plays, one to the left and one to the right, that they've shut them down for no gain. But remember last time on about 3rd and 8, they kind of messed them up with a run. We'll see what they're going to do now.
And we have a flag down on the field as it will be a
too many
penalty
men on the
against
field.
the West. Too many men on the field is the call, as the official, like not quite working there by the official, but yes, indeed, too many men on the field, which, and that's one of those penalties where if you don't have that chemistry, that's a sort of penalty that will happen to you, be it false start penalties or too many men in the field penalties such as that. Those procedural penalties may come to be a big part in this game.
Yeah, the player was running off late, and that's about the 2nd time they've done that. But
so now 3rd down and 16 for the West as Dottie will roll to the left. Pressure coming, thrown in the pocket, and it'll be intercepted. Pass tipped and picked off by Jake Johnson out of North Platte, and it will be East ball after a great play by Johnson.
You know, that's the type of play that kind of changes games around, turnovers, and that's one of the hardest things for a high school quarterback to do is to roll to his left and then throw back. And
yeah, that ball was tipped as Dottie was just looking for any sort of space to work with on that 3rd down and long, and right there to capitalize was Johnson for the interception. It's a fantastic play by the senior out of North Platte, the former Bulldog there. As the East takes over for the first time, handoff right up the middle is stifled for very little gain, if any. That was Efroin Lovato with the stop there, taking down Gabe Sennert for no gain.
Yeah, you know, the West first play of the game was a pass, and theirs was a power play. But West has been really happy with their defense. They look pretty solid there.
It was Sennert on the run out of McCook, the stop by Lovato out of Minutair. So 2nd down and 10 as It's Adam Cole in at quarterback for the East out of Cozad as he kind of fumbles the snap there, trying to make something out of nothing there. Is a bit of a mishandle on the exchange there to Cole. Try to pick up a couple of yards, but just not much there for the former Haymaker.
Yeah, that's one of those things, not much practice time, and there happen, or just a little bit of nerves. Boy, as a coach, you hate to see that happen because it's just a lost play.
So they do give Cole 1 yard on that, what ended up being a carry. So it'll be 3rd down and 9 for the East at their own, or at the West rather, 34-yard line, under 11 minutes to go in the opening quarter. And again, a bad snap will result in a sack. Is rolling in was Cam Raffelli out of Ogallala, taking down Adam Cole for the loss. Back-to-back plays with bad snaps for the East. And that will create a 4th down and long now after that one would hit the ground pretty quick.
Yeah, Raffelli was a 3-sport athlete of Ogallala, played on that state tournament basketball team, and ran track.
And Raffelli will continue his playing career. He will be playing football at University of Nebraska Kearney next year. Cam Raffelli, just an incredible athlete. I was covering that Ogallala basketball run throughout the entirety of the season. We had their state tournament games on News Channel Nebraska as well, and a lot of these players that you're seeing here today we were able to cover throughout both football and basketball on News Channel Nebraska. So it's so great to be out here again, seeing these guys one last time at Bearcat Stadium as the punt is up and away, and that will go into the end zone for a touchback. So the West will take over at the 30-yard line. So while we have a moment as the West will get set to take back the field, we would like to thank our first quarter sponsor here this evening, as the first quarter is brought to you by VVS Canteen, your regional leader in contract food service, micro markets, coffee service, and more. We thank VVS Canteen as well as all of our great sponsors of high school football on News Channel Nebraska. Again, Alex Loroff alongside Terry Gilliland, Chris Williams down on the sidelines as the West takes back over after turning it over on their first offensive possession. The interception thrown by Eric Dottie will hopefully he's able to block that out of his mind as this offensive possession begins at the 30-yard line after the touchback. And up again to Fisher out of the left side, but he's tripped up and then brought down for a loss. Tackle ultimately made there by Munger, Colton Munger out of Keapaha, after he was hit initially by Blake Hoffmaster yet again.
Yeah, that's that play that on 3rd and long that Fisher popped it for about 15 yards, but they had that well diagnosed.
So it will go down as a loss of 3 for Fisher, and already we're starting to see the defensive mindset of both of these teams, how both head coaches, and you heard Coach Rhodes talk about it with Chris Williams, about how Western Nebraska football is very much smash-mouth football, and we've seen that here today, but there was a nice burst right up the middle by Evan Fisher. Once again, Colton Munger there on the stop, but it's been really nothing but Evan Fisher for the West as he has been carrying the brunt of the load here thus far.
You know, that's a good back. You stop him, then they get a long gain, they stop him again, then he gets he's had 2 good runs so far.
Pickup of 8 for Fisher. And that's what you have to do with a talented running back like an Evan Fisher. You, again, just need to continue just to feed him the ball as he will get the yards. You just have to kind of be patient with a guy like Evan Fisher, who will be playing football next year, also at the University of Nebraska Kearney. He will be majoring in business as well. And a great showing so far today as we have another penalty flag down on the field. And that will go against the West. It was a delay of game penalty there on the West as that'll push him back 5 yards back to the 35-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and 10. Motion actually is the call against the West. Illegal motion. So it'll be a 3rd down and 10. Actually back at the 30-yard line of the West. So right back to where this drive started after the loss by Fisher, then a nice pickup. But the penalty makes it another 3rd down and long. Now he takes the snap out of the shotgun. Looks to throw it deep down the left sideline, but not able to pull in. The grab there was Luke Polachek out of Ogallala. Was able to shake Nick Neeson there just slightly, but it was just overthrown by Dottie.
Yeah, that was well designed, but you know, sometimes high school receivers, they don't keep running. They stop and look, try to find the football, and and then it goes over their head a little bit, but I'm sure they'll come back to that play.
Absolutely is. Halachek able to get by Nick Neeson there out of North Platte St. Patrick's, who was playing the defense. The lone representative of the Irish here today is Neeson. Halachek, one of a couple of players from Ogallala here today, as on a 4th down and 10, the West will punt it back to the East. Still no score here as we approach 8 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. 15-minute quarters here in this All-Star football game. As it's a bit of a low punt, and it's off the receiver there. It bounces off of Gabe Sennert, and it's recovered by the West. Recovered there by Braden Fowler, as Sennert was trying to say that he was signaling for a fair catch, but nonetheless, it bounces off of Sennert there, and the West takes advantage.
You know, that's 2 big breaks right away, one for each team, you know, pass interception in this. But I'd watch the Fisher kid warm up before the game, and he really punched the ball well. Didn't get a real good one off then, but it worked for him.
So the West takes advantage of the miscue there by Sennert. And it was Braden Fowler, or Valentine Badger, making the recovery there. So 1st and 10 at the East's 44-yard line. Best field position of the day for the West. Adi will hand off right up the middle, and not much there. A bit of a short game there for Evan Fisher. But just nowhere really to go on that play. Pick up about 2, so we'll make it a 2nd down and 8.
That was a little trap play. They've been giving the ball to Fisher, and they gave a little trap to the fullback that time.
And for the most part, the East has done a great job of containing Fisher. Only a couple of big running plays as Dottie sends the man in motion. That is Jacob Lemon. And out that was again to Fisher, looking to go to the left side, trying to bounce it back around to the right, but just nowhere to go. Tackled by just a gang of blue jerseys. As Fisher not able to use that block to bounce that around to the left, he was forced back to his right and was brought down for no gain.
Yeah, I'm looking sometime in this game they give that ball to Fisher on that little counter action, and the quarterback's going to keep it one of these times. They worked on that a lot in practice.
And we'll see if Eric Dottie, who was the starting quarterback this year for the Sydney Red Raiders, will maybe try to take it himself on one of those plays. As you mentioned there, Terry, he had 198 rushing yards during the regular season, 6 rushing touchdowns. That run by Fisher went for no gain, so 3rd and 8 for the West. Dottie will roll to his right, and that pass is intercepted. Another interception thrown by Dottie, and down the left sideline, there goes Dalton Harshelroad, and Harshelroad with a great return as well after the interception of Dottie. Fantastic play by the senior out of Juanita Palisade.
You know, that's the 3rd turnover of the game, and we'll see if the East can take advantage of it. They're down in pretty good field position.
Dottie rolling to his right, had a lot of room in front of him, but still trying to almost force a pass downfield to try to get that 1st down. But Harshelroad made a great jump on that ball and an equally great return, bringing it up to the 21-yard line of the West, which is where the East will begin this drive. Cole, the toss out to the right side. Great blocking out in front. And a nice pickup there for the East on 1st down after the huge interception run back carry there by Gabe Sennert.
Yeah, that looked good. That was just a little toss play, a lot of teams like to run.
6-yard gain for Sennert, the former McCook Bison, at 403 rushing yards in the regular season, 7 rushing touchdowns for Sennert. We're under 6 minutes to play in our opening quarter. Cole will start under center. And off again to Sennert on the left side, but he is tripped up for very little gain, maybe slipped as well as the field. Possibly a little slick after the rain we have seen so far today, but nonetheless, Efron Lovato will be credited with the tackle.
You know, that was a little 6-man player from Minatary, came from the weak side. He looked really good. He was a running back in high school, and they said that he really has looked good on defense.
And that's what's great about this game as well, the fact you have the mix of the 11-man players, the 8-man players, the 6-man players as well, all coming together. And we talked earlier today with Coach Rhodes saying that those 6-man and 8-man guys are hitting just as hard as those 11-man guys.
Oh, absolutely.
So a 3rd down and 2 after the gain of 2. Cole from the shotgun will roll to his left, chase out of the pocket, and Cole with just nowhere to go as a trio of red jerseys bring down Adam Cole. Combination of Clark Rison as well as Braden Fowler bring down Cole as there was just no room for the former Haymaker to work with.
You know, so far the perimeter people on both sides have been really good. They just haven't gotten anything outside at all.
So that will go as a loss of 3 for Adam Cole. Still no positive passing plays yet for either team, but on 4th down and 5, the East will keep the offense on the field. Coach Cargill will elect to go for it here with Cole in the shotgun. Takes that roll to his right, pressure coming, but the pass is low. Out to the right side, intended for Gabe Centert, but that pressure was coming lightning quick from the West, and Cole had to get that ball out probably a little faster than he intended to, and it falls incomplete.
You know, we've had 4 turnovers so far, 2 by each team, but we haven't had a score yet, which is a little bit surprising.
There on the coverage was Cameron Geary. So the West will come back out, still scoreless, as you mentioned there, Terry, on our Faith Regional Health Services and Aurora Cooperative scoreboard. And just a look back through the years of this game. Again, the 41st annual Western Nebraska All-Star Game, which is just incredible in and of itself. But the East has 24 wins, the West has 16 wins, and there was one tie in the history of this series. And last year it was the East that came away with the win, 21-13, as Dottie on 1st down will air it out deep, and that will fall incomplete over the heads of a pair of intended targets. Looking for Keegan Reifschneider as well as Luke Halachek out on the deep left side.
You know, that was really well covered. So,
yeah, pair of receivers, but also double coverage as well. Dottie just trying to make something happen and trying to get a spark going for this Western team, as very much a defensive struggle. Turnovers on both sides as well. Dottie himself, a pair of interceptions, trying to shake those off and try to make big plays as he will line up in the shotgun with a 4-receiver set. 4:22 left to go in the first quarter, and it will be a draw play around to the left side, or not a lot of running room there for Jake Lemon out of Shadron with the carry, but again, just not much there. Great defensive coverage by the East.
Now, it's the second time they've run that jet sweep. The first time it delay a game, and
there on the stop was Grayson Gary, senior out of Broken Bow. So the 3-yard carry from Lemon on the jet sweep will result in a 3rd down and 7 for the West. Ball on their own 19-yard line. 3:42 left to go in our opening quarter. Dottie will hand it off to Fisher right up the middle, uses the blocking, and that will be close to a 1st down. Looks like they will give the 1st down to Evan Fisher. A great piece of running by Fisher to keep the drive alive.
you know, that's the second time in passing situations, 3rd and long, 7 or 8, and they've given the ball to Fisher and picked up the 1st down.
And really that just goes to show the confidence that Coach Jimmy Rhodes has in Evan Fisher, that even in those 3rd and long situations, he knows that if he gets the ball to Fisher, that Fisher will give them a great opportunity to get those pickups. A gain of 8 for Fisher results in a 1st and 10 at the West's own 27-yard line, approaching the 3-minute mark of our opening quarter. Dottie again in the shotgun. Fisher to his left, trips to the right side as a one-handed grab there from Dottie on the snap as he takes it on the quarterback draw, but only a couple of yards on the pickup for Dottie.
He might have made a little more that time, but the snap wasn't real good. Dottie is a really good athlete in high school. He's one of their leading scorers in basketball, and first quarterback that I've seen he was one of the better shot put and discus throwers in the area.
Don't often you see that a guy of Dottie's frame, 6 foot 185, to be so successfll at the shot and the discus.
Yeah,
so that's very interesting to see, as Dottie 671 passing yards in the regular season for the Sydney Red Raiders, who went 6-3 overall, losing to Ord in the first round of the Class C1 playoffs. As we have a whistle and looks like a timeout called on the field. And with that, we will take a quick timeout as well, but be back with more of the first quarter of this Western Nebraska All-Star football game here on News Channel Nebraska.
Get diagnosed and treated online for a variety of common medical conditions with Faith Regional Physician Services virtual visit. It's easy to use. Log in anytime and answer a series of questions related to how you are feeling and the symptoms you are experiencing. just like you would at a doctor's office. Next, your online interview will be sent to one of our local providers at Faith Regional Physician Services, who will then review your responses, create a treatment plan, and send a prescription to the pharmacy of your choice if needed. You'll receive a response by email or text message within 1 hour during clinic hours, or the next morning if submitted after hours. Cost is only $40. And if we can't treat you online, you won't be charged. No appointments, no waiting rooms. Get treated from wherever you are. Faith Regional Physician Services virtual visit. The right care, right here. Start your visit at frpsclinics.org.
Welcome back on News Channel Nebraska. As we are back from the timeout that the East just took, as Coach Cargill talking things over with his defense as the 2nd and 7 play. There's a bit of a QB keeper as well from Dottie. Also might have been another case of a bad snap there. Couldn't quite tell what may have happened there, but Dottie nonetheless took it himself for a short gain to make it another 3rd down and long for the West.
Yeah, the quarterback had a difficult time getting the ball back from Fisher because there was going to be a quarterback keep there, but they had a little fumble to it. I think it would have been more yards.
So on 3rd and 7, Dottie, pump fake deep down the left sideline. That'll be hauled in
great.
For a grab by Luke Halachek. What a catch by the former Ogallala Indian. A huge play for the West. Dottie connects with Halachek.
You know, that was a hitch and go. The quarterback pumped, but that receiver was really well covered. He was covered, but that was a great catch.
A 33-yard reception for Halachek. And they missed on one earlier on in this quarter. And you said, Terry, you wouldn't be surprised if they went back to it. And that's exactly what Coach Rhodes drew up. So it's a 1st and 10 for the West. Now at the East's 37-yard line. As the throw out to the right side, the little screen toss will be stopped for no gain whatsoever. Jake Lemon out on the right side. One of those plays where you're just trying to get your receiver the ball and have him make a move, but it was just snuffed out perfectly by the East.
You know, it's what everybody's run, one of those little bubble screens, but those defensive linebacker and corner really came up. But they have a play they've been practicing on where they fake that and then send the guy deep or send the wide receiver deep, so you might see that.
So that'll go as a loss of 5 on the catch by Lemon. Under a minute to play in our opening quarter. 2nd and 15 for the West at the East's 42-yard line as the handoff is to Fisher around to the right side, but he is just ganged up on, tries to stay on his feet, but ultimately brought down after a big hit by Austin Wolf out of Medicine Valley. But 4 or 5 different blue jerseys just right there and absolutely nowhere for Fisher to go.
Yeah, I bet Fisher's had about 12, 13 carries already. He's one of those type of backs, 3, 4 carries in a row, won't have anything, and then he'll pop one. So,
and this will be a 3rd down and long for the West. So we have seen Fisher on those 3rd and longs get those handoffs, but it doesn't look like that'll be the case here, as it also looks like the West is going to be content just with letting the clock run down after that 3-yard loss by Evan Fisher. It'll be 3rd down and 18 for the West at the East's 45-yard line when we come back for the start of the 2nd quarter. Scoreless between the East and the West in the 2019 Western Nebraska All-Star football game here on News Channel Nebraska.
One chance,
Tougher together.
one season,
Tougher together.
one mission.
Tougher together.
Tougher together, Aurora and me.
Tougher together, Aurora and you.
Cozad, Nebraska, remembering our past with a vision for the future and committed to progress with strong infrastructure, the ideal location for growth and development. And that would not be possible without Cozad Telephone Company. With gigabyte fiber to homes and businesses in town, they offer fast and reliable internet, plus 24/7 customer service, managed Wi-Fi routers, and bundling options that let you save. And Skitter TV with over 230 of your favorite channels. Locally owned since 1902, Cozad Telephone is here for their local and rural customers. Today, tomorrow,
Welcome back on News Channel Nebraska. As another look at that huge reception by Luke Palachek. 33-yard grab by the former Ogallala Indian. But back to live action on 3rd down and 18. The slant route from Dottie, who was looking to connect with number 15, Palachek again. Dottie starting to find his favorite target there, and Palachek looking for the slant and go, but just couldn't quite haul it in, could Palachek. And on the 3rd and long, it will now be 4th and long as the West will look to punt it back to the east.
You know, that was a good offensive play, good defensive play, good pass protection, good throw, and really good defensive back work.
So the West will be sending it back to the east here, as administering the punt will be Parker Dillon for the West, which is up and away centered, signals for the fair catch. We do have a flag down right about the 10-yard line on the near sideline, right near the area where center holding the fair catch.
Yeah, it was a 35-yard punt, but it was just about blocked.
Yeah, great jump there by the West, almost sending that one right back in the face of Parker Dillon. Well, we'll see what the infraction is here as the officials convene on what the issue may be. Head official talking to Coach Rhodes here. A lot of pointing going on. It will be declined as the penalty was against the East.
Yeah, I think they'll take that ball right in the 10-yard line.
So it will be 1st and 10 for the East, right at their own 10-yard line as we get another look at that last play there is center. Hauls that one in. Maybe in a case where, looking on the sideline there, Alec Bunger may have stepped out of bounds and then come back into play. Which may have been the issue, but nonetheless, the East pinned back deep here after the great punt by Parker Dillon. And another miscue on the snap, a scrum for the ball. We'll see who comes up with it. Well, the 3rd or 4th time we have seen miscommunication between Adam Cole and Brad Swanson, and it will be a turnover by the East, and the West now with a fantastic opportunity after recovering the fumble. Now they will be at the East's 10-yard line, a 1st and goal opportunity.
You know, I think that's a 3rd turnover by each team. I mean, 3 apiece, and one time the East got it down on about the 25-yard line, and now the West has it inside the 10. So see if somebody can take advantage of this.
Absolutely, a great opportunity for the West. That was actually Keaton Trampy out of Elm Creek, the center, snapping the ball to Adam Cole there. But they just could not get on the same page, so it will be 1st and goal at the 9 for the East. Dottie in the gun, full receiver set. He will drop back to pass. He'll go to the corner of the end zone, and he connects with Luke Palachek for the touchdown. What a throw by Dottie. What a job by Palachek, able to keep his feet in bounds, and the West is on the board first in the 2019 Western Nebraska All-Star football game.
That was a second great catch of this game by Palachek from Okalala. And, oh, well, we got a little something going on in the end zone.
A celebration.
They're going to take a – that's okay. That's a lot of enthusiasm. I guess they figured that they must have a good kicker. They can take the penalty on the extra point. But Palachek really made a good adjustment to the ball that time. So pretty impressive.
He absolutely did, and we do have a flag down on the field, and it might be on the celebration here. As you see the rowing of the boat by the Western team there.
The referees aren't doing something right down there. I'm going to try to call it that.
But nonetheless, that is what you want to see in an all-star game such as this. The kids having some fun, practicing. I'm sure practicing those sorts of celebrations there if they're able to get points on the board. As for a lot of these guys, the last time they will be participating in football in general, but for a lot as well, just their last high school football experience. As the snap on the extra point attempt is low, West has to pull it back out. That's Scott Wheeler around to the left side, throws it towards the end zone. That goes up over the head of Braden Fowler. As the West, bit of bad fortune there on the low snap on the extra point kick attempt. Scott Wheeler trying to make something out of nothing there. But it ends with the West not able to get an extra point, as coming in hot around the side there was Alec Bunger. Wheeler able to get away from Blake Hoffmaster as well. Couldn't connect in the end zone with Fowler, but nonetheless, 6-0. The West has taken a lead on the Faith Regional Health Services and Aurora Cooperative scoreboard. They strike first on a turnover, which we've talked about, Terry. Just the turnovers by both teams have been big parts of this game. And finally, the West able to capitalize on the fumble recovery. And Dottie connecting with Palachuk on a beautiful pass in the back corner of the end zone.
Yeah.
And due to the penalty, they will back the West up on the kickoff.
Yeah, that was something that happened in the end zone that during regular season game you wouldn't do that. Your coach wouldn't be too happy. But in a game like this, they've had a lot of enthusiasm all week long. So it looked like that was something they had planned. So
it definitely seemed like the plan was to do that celebration at some point during the game. We'll see if maybe the West or even the East will bust out any more sort of intricate celebrations such as that. But that is, again, just great to see the enthusiasm that these players have to be in this game, to be a part of this team, and to be representing their schools as well, representing their communities here this evening at Bearcat Stadium. As the kickoff then following the penalty is a bit of a low one, which will end up rolling out of bounds. So a bit of good fortune now for the East, as we have a pair of penalties, as there was a bit of extra contact on the left side, about the 50-yard line, as the West's Lane McGinley sort of ran into Jake Johnson of the East. So the kickoff going out of bounds, and another penalty as well on some extra contact.
You know, at first I thought that penalty on the extra point wasn't going to hurt him. They'd mark him back, but I forgot they do that on the. So it has kind of hurt him here, depending on what these penalties are. The East is going to have good field position.
Yeah, great opportunity here for the East.
Once the ball went out of bounds.
And then a personal foul, which will go.
They're going to kind of offset.
It definitely seems that way, as the personal foul it was going against the East, actually. Is we get to look at the replay there of the personal foul, as you saw it in the middle of your screen right there. Just a huge shot by Jake Johnson administered to Lane McGinley there. So the personal foul does go against the East.
Yeah, the personal foul should be, they first got to give them the ball, would be on the kickoff for the ball going out of bounds, and then mark it back. And they are. So the East is still going to have good field position. See, that was that. Now they got to mark off the.
Yep, they're going
to.
to.
Now they're going to mark it back. They would have got the. East would have got that ball on the 45-yard line if it hadn't been for that penalty, some extracurricular thing. But they're still going to get the ball at the 40-yard line, which is good field position.
Absolutely. Great field position for the East as they take over. After a couple of penalties there, the officials determining what exactly the plan was going to be, and it will be a 40-yard line start for the East. 6-0. The East finds themselves down as another snap ball to the ground. Adam Cole picks it back up, but he is wrestled down to the ground, dragged down by number 39, Jeremiah Delzer, the former Scottsbluff Bearcat, here at his home field for the final time as he takes down Adam Cole for a huge loss.
That's about the third quarterback center exchange. And then I think we had one on the shotgun snap. So
yeah, the chemistry just not there at the moment between Keaton Trampy and Adam Cole. A loss of 6 on the carry, which ended up being. Now on second and long, the screen pass out to the left side falls incomplete as it drops out of the hands of Alec Bunger. It was a forward pass, so no chance for the West to recover, but Cole just not able to connect with Bunger there.
That was a little bubble screen, and that would have gone. If he'd have caught that ball, he'd probably gone about 10, 15 yards.
So it'll be 3rd down and 16 for the East, rather, just under 14 minutes to play in the second quarter. East with it at their own 34-yard line. Cole will be in the shotgun with trips out to his left side, one lone receiver to the right. Actually now a change at quarterback, as it is actually Grayson Gary now in at quarterback as he connects out to the right side for a short gain with number 45 Paxton Terry. So Grayson Gary gets his first pass of the game out of Broken Bow, connecting with Terry.
Yeah, that's Terry from McCook, and that was a great catch. He juggled that a little bit and caught it, but you know, McCook always has good players, always.
Absolutely. The McCook Bison, one of the top teams out in this part of Nebraska. went 8-1 this year. As the punt is up and away by the East, Cameron Geary just lets it bounce past him, and it will not roll all the way to the end zone. It'll be down by Nick Neeson. So the East now able to pin the West back deep after a nice pickup of 8 on the connection between Gary and Paxton Terry, but could not pick up the first down. West with another opportunity on the offense.
You know, that was a 50-yard punt, and, you know, punting game's a big part of it, big part of field position, but the ball, they let it drop, let it bounce, and that's one of the worst things you can do.
As I will take another look at that last play between Geary and Paxton Terry, as Terry nearly not able to haul that one in, but credit to former McCook Bison there, Paxton Terry, to hold that one in, pick up 8 yards to make it a little bit more of a manageable 4th down punt, but nonetheless, the West has it now at their own 10-yard line as the short handoff there goes for not a whole lot. As a great job by the East defensive line, just swarming in on Evan Fisher there.
Kind of looks like that's their bread and butter play. They've probably run that 7 or 8 times, and 6 times they hadn't many yardage, and the other times it's been big yardage for them.
Again, the East, for the most part, has done a good job at containing Fisher, save for just those 2 or 3 big runs that he's had. He has a pair of 8-yard carries and a 13-yard carry, which was his biggest one of the day. No gain there on the run to make it 2nd and 10 for the West. Dottie from the gun will hand it off again to the left side. Fisher bounces it out towards the sideline. And a great pickup there. Actually, that's number 33 on the carry instead of 23. That is Trent Reed with the run. Trent Reed out of Hay Springs getting his first carry of the day. And it was a great pickup there for the West.
Yeah, that was the same type of play. And wasn't anything inside. He bounced it out. But you have a good running back like that, you just keep feeding him.
Trent Reed out of Hay Springs, who went undefeated, advanced to the D6 title game during the regular season, but lost 52-40 to Wilcox Hildreth. 2,600 rushing yards during the regular season for Trent Reed. Overall, 6,800 rushing yards in his career at Hay Springs. Just an unbelievable career for Trent Reed. There is on 1st and 10. The handoff is around to the right side, is coming around once again. That jet sweep style play is Jake Lemon. Second time they have run with Lemon around to the sweep side today, and a nice pickup there by Lemon.
Yeah, that's that jet sweep that worked a little bit for him that time.
Gain of 5 by Lemon as the rain now starting to come back around, as it's been on and off really all day out here in Scottsbluff, as the rain has picked up yet again, and we'll see if that has any ill effects on the players as the field just continues to be just waterlogged throughout the day. And even yesterday, the rain that came through the area not helping matters much either, as again it is Reed with the carry around to the left side, but not much there as he was brought down by Jake Johnson. And again, for a guy like Trent Reed, a 6-man star during his time at Hay Springs and the career that he had with the Hawks, to be able to have this opportunity to showcase what he can do in an 11-man format, just a great opportunity here tonight for Reed.
They're in the state championship 6-man game, Hay Springs, and I think the Reed boy had, I want to say, around 3,000 yards. So he's a good back. And I think he's going to Black Hills.
Indeed, I believe.
Yep, Black Hills.
Yep, Trent Reed will be heading to Black Hills State University to major in business and play football next year. But on 3rd down and 4, Dottie was looking out to the left side to try and hit Jake Lemon once again, as Lemon starting to get involved in the offense more and more. But nonetheless, it sails over the head of the entirety of the East sideline and out of bounds. So it'll be 4th down and 4 for the West at their own 26-yard line. 10:21 left to go in the second quarter, and looks as if they will be punting it back to the East here. We have a whistle and an official's timeout, as Coach Cargill is now out on the field talking things over with the referees. On the far sideline there, head coach Brian Cargill for the Cozad Haymakers, who we talked to before the game, was a former player in this game himself, was the defensive player of the game back in 1992. As he is discussing some things with the officials.
Yeah, Nick Cookshausen, that assistant coach for the West, he played in this game, and then he played for 4 years at Doane. He was an offensive lineman.
while we have a break in the action here, we'd like to thank another one of our sponsors of high school football here this evening, as one of our sponsors is Wayne State College, one of our many great sponsors of high school football throughout the season. So we thank Wayne State College as well as everyone else who has participated with their sponsorships here today and throughout the season, as this is sort of a middle-of-the-road game for us here as far as bridging the gap between our coverage of the 2018 season and now only a couple of months away from our coverage of the 2019 season. As Chris Williams mentioned it before the game, this is sort of an appetizer for the upcoming regular season, just a couple of months away. And again, one last chance to have these players get out here and perform for their schools, perform in a high school format before they all go on their separate ways. We've already mentioned some players who will be moving on to play college football at varying levels, but some players who will just be going on to continue their studies in one way or another, and that is also a great way to just continue things on and have that experience of being a part of high school football, as the punt is up and away, and making the fair catch right shy of the 35-yard line there is Gabe Sennert, and that is where the East will take over with about 10:16 left to go in the second quarter. And while we have a quick break in the action, we'll take a quick timeout and be back with more of the second quarter here on News Channel Nebraska.
I got a little.
Casey and Melissa Williams, owners of Aero Aviation, have been in business since 1971, serving Custer and surrounding counties. Their aircraft is equipped with the latest in GPS and flow control technology, enabling them to apply crop protection products in a timely and efficient manner. Casey strives to perform quality work for his valued client. His ability to apply pesticides rapidly at their optimum time is a big advantage for aerial application. Aero Aviation in Broken Bow, helping ag producers in central Nebraska for over 45 years.
Welcome back on News Channel Nebraska. Alex Loroff alongside Terry Gilliland, as the East has taken back over offensively, as the first play from scrimmage on this drive was a 3-yard carry by Gabe Sennert. He now has 11 yards overall on the ground. It'll be 2nd and 7 for the East at their own 37-yard line. Under 10 minutes to go here in the second quarter, as Grayson Geary remains in at quarterback under center. Handoff is once again to Sennert, but just not a lot of room for the former McCook Bison to work with there. Another short gain for Sennert to set up a third down.
You know, that last punt by the West, by Fisher kid, that was a 45-yard punt. He's a pretty good punter.
Really can do it all, can Evan Fisher, be it on the ground, be it punting the football as well. We've seen a great display of his skills here this evening at Bearcat Stadium, but the East trying to get some sort of offensive flow going. They have not been able to do so thus far, but maybe looking a little more poised now with Grayson Geary in at quarterback and Brad Swanson snapping to him as Geary under center. Will take the handoff on 3rd down and 3. Will roll to the left side, and that pass will be incomplete, as not able to haul it in. There was Yordi Gutierrez on the coverage. Chandler Stinson, but Gutierrez had the space on Stinson, but just couldn't quite haul it in. Tough throw from Geary, and it falls incomplete.
Yeah, another one of those plays rolling to your left and right-handed quarterback, and it's tough. It's a tough skill.
You saw it there in the replay that Gutierrez able to get that right hand on it, but just couldn't quite haul it all the way in, as maybe a little bit too much air underneath it by Grayson Geary. So the East will punt it back here as they still find themselves down 6-0. Bit of a short punt once again, which will bounce past Cameron Geary and will be down just shy of the 20-yard line. So good job by the East special teams yet again to pin the West back. They still have fairly decent field position, but a long way for the West to go, as really no team has been able to find much in the way of solid offensive rhythm to this point. The biggest plays have been the turnovers, and obviously the biggest play was the West's fumble recovery, which resulted in that first and goal opportunity, which they capitalized on. But as far as sustained drives, neither team has really been able to put together too much in the way of a sustained drive.
No, they haven't. I think maybe the most they've gotten is maybe 2 1st and 10s in a row. Hadn't been very many 1st and 10s all alone. Been a lot of turnovers, and they've capitalized once.
Dottie remains in at quarterback for the West on 1st down and 10 from the West's own 19-yard line. And off to the left side, trying to bounce it around is Fisher, but he is dragged down by his jersey there.
Well, that was great great team pursuit by the East team.
You can see Fisher there in the replay bouncing his way out, but Brad Swanson there just relentless, grabbing the jersey of Fisher as soon as he made contact with that pile, and Swanson just dragging down Evan Fisher there for a loss of 3.
There's no place to run the ball, and this makes it hard for a coach when you have a second and long, second 13 like it is now.
So it is 2nd and 13 at the own 16-yard line of the West, but we have flags flying yet again here. Handful of penalties already here in this first half, as in this second quarter we are under 8 minutes to play. We'll see what the call is by the official. It will be a false start, or rather an infraction against the East. Offsides will be called against the East, the false start motion, but nonetheless it is an offsides call that goes against the East, so that will move the West up another 5 yards to make it 2nd and 8.
Yeah, still kind of a long yardage situation, but that was better than the second and like 17.
So 2nd down and 8 for the West as Dottie connects on the short screen to the right side with Zane Anthony out of Kimball. Makes his first reception on the day. A nice pickup from Dottie to Anthony to set up a manageable 3rd down.
And this will be the first 3rd and short that they've had. They've had 3rd and long, and they've given it to their eye back. We'll see what they do here.
So 3rd down and 2 for the West. All on their own 27-yard line, approaching 7 minutes remaining here in the second quarter, as Dottie will take the quick snap and will just go forward himself. The design QB draw. Looks like he got it.
Got it. That was a nice play. It was a quick snap, and you know they've been giving the ball to that big eye back, and so pretty good play call.
Pickup of 3 when all they needed was 2. You mentioned it there, Terry. Great play call by head coach Jimmy Rhodes for the West, coaching in his final high school football game here today after 13 seasons at Gehring, 3 seasons with Mitchell. He is stepping away as head coach to fully focus on his duties as the athletic director. So the final time that he will be taking the sidelines in a high school coaching format is handoff on 1st down to Evan Fisher, able to bounce to the middle and have a great pickup before being brought down from behind by Miles Peterson.
Yeah, that's kind of a different formation. They had 3 guys stacked out here. I'm sure they're trying to spread everybody out, but they'll probably do something off that. They had 3 wide receivers out here stacked. But that's Fisher again. Doesn't get anything, then he pops one. But that's what good backs do.
Absolutely. Evan Fisher just relentless really throughout this one, as he has received the lion's share of the load as far as running the football is concerned, as he remains in there to the left of Eric Dottie. Pickup of 7 on the 1st down run by Fisher. They go right back to Evan Fisher, but he is met immediately by 3 or 4 different East defenders there, and just nowhere for Fisher to go after great penetration right there by number 32, Jordan Holen.
Yeah, there was a nice hole there at first, but that offside linebacker closed it in a hurry.
So no gain on the run by Fisher will make it a 3rd down and short. Actually, they will give him 2 yards as the scoreboard update, so it'll be a 3rd down and 1 for the West. About 5.5 minutes left to play here in the second quarter. The West trying to keep this drive going with Dottie once more in the gun. A 4-receiver set. Fisher remains in. Lemon now sent in motion from the right to the left side. Dottie trying to go with the hard count to try and force the East to jump, but a timeout will be called here by the West. Jimmy Rhodes did not like what he was seeing, so timeout called by the West. We'll take a quick timeout as well and be back with more of the second quarter action here on News Channel Nebraska.
Hayes Roofing and Siding is a proud sponsor of today's West Nebraska All-Star Game. Their local and experienced staff have earned a reputation throughout loyalty, honesty, and providing great service to their customers throughout western Nebraska. Hayes Roofing and Siding provides free estimates. Their inspection process is thorough, and you will never be pressured into signing up for a service that you don't need. From commercial to residential, there is no job too big or too small. They do it all. Trust the experts at Hayes Roofing and Siding for all of your exterior needs. Call them today for your free estimate.
May our skies stretch on forever. May our cities feel like small towns. May we welcome new friends and cherish old ones. May pride fill our arenas, and may we always put the heart in America's heartland. It's what makes us Nebraska, and it's what makes Pinnacle Bank proud to be part of your community. Because we're not just a bank in Nebraska, we're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
Third down and 2, actually, as they only give Fisher a yard on that last carry. And Dottie taking it himself on the QB sneak. And it does not look like Dottie was able to pick it up, as the East did a great job of rushing the offensive line, pushing everything back, winning the battle in the trenches, and forcing Dottie back to not allow the pickup on 3rd and short.
Yeah, that was the second time in a row on 3rd and short that they ran a quarterback sneak. It probably would have worked this time, but they had a bad center quarterback exchange.
So now maybe looking for a fake punt initially, but it does end up being a short punt to Gabe Sennert, who was brought down just shy of the 30-yard line, as administering the punt there was Miles Peterson out of Bertrand. Maybe was faking a little bit like he was looking for a receiver, but did end up pulling back and taking it downfield. And now the East with some decent field position now to begin this drive with under 4.5 minutes left to play in the second.
Yeah, they changed punters that time. That wasn't Fisher kid punting. You know, everybody's doing that soccer-style kick. You know, they take off and like they're going to run, and then they punt the ball.
Trying to catch the opposing special teams off guard a little bit, and credit to the East team.
I think maybe in college and the pros, they do that to give their people more time to get downfield.
True as well. A lot of benefits that there is to that sort of style of punting, as the East takes over at their own 28-yard line, as out to the right side, the handoff goes to Gabe Sennert, as Grayson Gary remains in at quarterback for the East. Sennert only able to pick up a couple of yards, as doing a lot of horizontal running there, but not quite able to turn it upfield. A pickup of only a couple for Sennert. Two-yard pickup will make it a 2nd down and 8 at the 31-yard line of the East. Under 4 minutes left to play in the second quarter, as handoff goes right up the middle. Great hole right up the middle, and then off to the left side for Sennert yet again, as great piece of blocking by the offensive line of the East to allow Sennert to burst through the line and pick up a 1st down.
Yeah, that was the East best running play of the game, and another McCook player. They always seems to do what has to be done.
Absolutely, Sennert and out of McCook, who during the regular season went 8-1, but lost in the second round of the Class B playoffs to Waverly 36-30 after defeating Hastings in the first round. As on the new 1st and 10 for the East, around to the left side goes Dalton Harshelroad, but Harshelroad was tripped up as he was looking for room to turn upfield. Harshelroad just nowhere to go after a great play made there by Chandler Stinson on the tackle.
Yeah, that's Stinson from Alliance, and he came from the strong safety position and made a good play. I thought it was going to have some yardage at first, but he came up pretty good.
Harshelroad does pick up 3 on the carry to make it a 2nd and 7 at the East 42-yard line. Trying to go to the right side, the cut back and trying to get upfield to make something out of nothing was Nick Neeson there out of North Platte St. Patrick's. Neeson trying to find some room, but it was well scouted by the West defensively, and they were able to really hone in on Neeson there and stop him for very little gain, if any. Actually, it goes for a loss of a yard.
Yeah, that was a great play from the 6-man player, Lovato from Minotera. He stopped that, made the running back stop and get up the line of scrimmage. He didn't make tackle, but he blew up the whole play.
So now a 3rd down and long for the East, 3rd and 8. As we have a whistle, and looks like Coach Cargill wants a timeout. Indeed, he does. So both teams with 1 timeout remaining here, as we'll keep it here with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left to go on our Faith Regional Health Services and Aurora Co-op scoreboard in the second quarter. 6-0 is the lead for the West, as the East just has not been able to really get anything going. They've had some trouble, as we've talked about, Terry, with those center quarterback exchanges. They started the game with Adam Cole at quarterback, the change to Grayson Gary now at the quarterback position, and they've been able to pick up more positive plays as this second quarter has rolled on, but the East still looking for that one big shot, that one big momentum-changing play to get themselves energized and get themselves back into this.
Yeah, just not enough consistency, and the timing has kind of been off by both teams, and that might be because we went to one shorter day of camp this week. I mean, you never know. They don't have enough time to practice, but we'll see.
That is a great point, as we talked to Coach Cargill earlier today, talking about starting camp on Wednesday, so only a few days for them to really prepare. As Gary nowhere to go as he dropped back in the gun, looking to get it downfield, the one pump fake, but then just swarmed in on by a handful of West defenders. Gary trying to make something out of nothing, but just not a lot there as he was brought down from behind for a short pickup.
Who's that back?
That'll go as a 2-yard pickup for Grayson Gary, as the punt is sort of hit off the side of the foot there of Adam Cole. It goes out of bounds just shy of the 50-yard line, so a rough punt there by Cole will give the West some great field position with 1:44 to work with in this second quarter.
Yeah, that was all the defensive punt rush. They put a lot of pressure on him. He had to pull his foot up and didn't get off very good punt. You know, for a lot of the years in this game, we wouldn't let him rush the punter, and then we thought, well, let's just let him. That's a great play.
Yes.
Fans like it. Everybody likes it. Go ahead and get after the punter and bring as many people as you can and see what happens.
Getting those block punts is one of the most exciting plays in football, so having that rule back kind of allows that to happen yet again. But for the West, they begin at their own 49-yard line as a low snap is hauled in by Dottie, as he was looking down to the left side, but the low pass nearly picked off by Nick Neeson. Trapped it in the ground as he was trying to hit Keegan Reifschneider down the far sideline.
I'd like to see that again. I think, no, I guess it didn't. I thought somebody hit his arm.
It definitely looks so with just how low that ball went and that trajectory, how quickly it dove to the ground. But Dottie just not enough arm underneath it as he was looking for Reifschneider. And a great play out by Nick Neeson. We've mentioned Nick Neeson's name quite a bit here today out of North Platte St. Patrick's. He has been just all over the field here this afternoon, as Neeson, the lone representative of the Irish, who went 6-3 in the regular season, won 6 straight to close the season out after losing their first 3, but did lose in the first round of the C2 playoffs to Centennial. And Neeson recognized for his efforts by being a part of this game here today, as Fisher gets the second down handoff, and a nice pickup yet again by Fisher.
You're talking about North Platte St. Pat's, and that's another one of those programs that has a lot of history. They're always good. They had first Coach Skillstad that got that program going, then Coach Dotson, so they're always good.
And an interesting thing now here is Evan Fisher on that last 4-yard pickup sort of limped off the sideline. He is doubled over in some discomfort on the sideline. He was slow to get up after that last play, as Coach Rhodes coming over to give him some encouragement. So Fisher on the sideline after a bit of an injury possibly is on 3rd down and 5. The handoff goes to Trent Reed, and Trent Reed keeping his way forward, and looks as if Reed may have enough for a first down. It's going to be close.
That was only about a 4-yard run, but he looked good in that. That was one of those 6-man players.
Absolutely.
And from Hay Springs, and he looked pretty good. Hopped over that one person on the ground, and
so it goes to pick up a 4 for Reed. So 4th down and 1 it will be for the West, under 30 seconds now to play in this second quarter, as the handoff goes to Reed. Stopped initially, but still able to move his body forward. He is ganged up on and driven back by a handful of East players. And
I don't think they gave him a great spot, but he did a good job of trying to pick that up.
Absolutely, Reed just fighting with all that he could. As we take a look at the replay here, Reed trying to just get around the huge frame there of Paul and Greenrod.
That's one of those plays that I wish they just measure it. You know, they always act like they're in a big hurry to get out of here.
Yeah.
We aren't going any place. I just think they just measure it.
So it does go as a turnover on downs for the West, as Reed not able to pick up the first down. So 20 seconds left to play in the quarter. 1st and 10 for the East. Gary was looking deep downfield, pressured out of the pocket, throws it downfield, and it's picked off. Intercepted by the West, intercepted by Chandler Stinson. Stinson with a great jump on that ball and the pick for the West.
You know, that was just a case of somebody trying to make a play, trying to make something happen, and You know, instead of throwing it away, he tried to make something happen, and it probably isn't going to hurt him because there are only 9 seconds left.
As you saw in the replay there, Dottie, again, pressure out of the pocket was just, as you mentioned perfectly there, Terry, trying to make something happen, just trying to get it downfield, trying to get a big play for the East. But right there was Chandler Stinson out of Alliance, the former Bulldog, coming away with the interception. He had 3 interceptions during the regular season, did Stinson. Has the first one for the West here today. And with 9 seconds left in the quarter, we'll probably see the West just either take a knee or just do a short running play just to run this clock out and get to the half. And have to be pretty happy the fact they're up 6-0.
I bet they'll try to get one.
It's like they'll try, as we saw, look at the Scottsbluff cheer and dance. The halftime performance here today is Dottie with a great pass to the left side, finding Keegan Reifschneider for a great pickup. Ball started at their own 41-yard line. Reifschneider able to get out of bounds, so 2 seconds left to play, and Reifschneider with a great pickup there.
Well, that's one kid you don't want to let him get going. He won probably 3 or 4 games for Scottsbluff this year on plays at the end of the game. In the York in the playoffs and Ron Colley in the playoffs, and he can do a little bit of everything.
We saw it there, but Keegan Reifschneider, a great pickup to keep the drive alive for Scottsbluff, moving it up, or from Scottsbluff he is, but keeping it alive for the West, as looks like Coach Rhodes will call his final timeout of the half, as he will talk things over with his squad as far as what the final play of the half is going to be. As Reifschneider setting up the West with a great opportunity here. Ball at the East's 41-yard line after that catch and run. And we'll see what kind of arm Dottie has here, as you have to figure they're just going to try to maybe air it out as deep as he can possibly get it. Try to make one last-ditch effort here before the half comes to a close, and what has been a very solid half for the West defensively as well as offensively. East a little more uneven. The West looking more poised as far as the offensive side of things is concerned. Obviously the play of Evan Fisher, Eric Dottie consistently there at quarterback, making some great plays, especially to Luke Palachek. Some great catches as well in this half.
You know, the West has had 3 good pass plays and about 3 or 4 good runs by the running back from Imperial. So they have done some things. East just hasn't got going on offense yet.
So final play of the half. Dottie will air it out deep, and it will harmlessly fall incomplete. The East playing a bit of prevent defense there, making sure no one getting past the backs into the end zone, and the final pass of the quarter falls long incomplete. So that will take us to the half as the West leads the East by a score of 6-0 in the 41st annual Western Nebraska All-Star football game. And as we get set for the half, just a quick PSA for you folks watching on TV and online. We are going to briefly go offline for about a minute here as we have some technical difficulties we have to take care of, but we will be back in a matter of minutes as we have to reset some things. But we will be back on TV and online in a matter of minutes, and we will be back for halftime as well as the second half between the West and the East in this year's Western Nebraska All-Star Football Classic on News Channel Nebraska.
Aulick Industries is growing and looking to hire quality applicants with a strong desire to grow with us. Multiple positions are available in Scottsbluff and our new location in Grand Island. Find out what job is right for you at aulick.com/careers. That's aulick.com/careers, where you can apply, send your resume, or simply print out an application and come see us at one of our locations. We look forward to you becoming a part of our team that has been building superior material transport equipment since 1952.
Cozad, Nebraska, remembering our past with a vision for the future and committed to progress with strong infrastructure, the ideal location for growth and development. And that would not be possible without Cozad Telephone Company. With gigabyte fiber to homes and businesses in town, they offer fast and reliable internet, plus 24/7 customer service, managed Wi-Fi routers, and bundling options that let you save. And Skitter TV with over 230 of your favorite channels. Locally owned since 1902, Cozad Telephone is here for their local and rural customers. Today, tomorrow, and years to come.
Anything you want?
Welcome back on News Channel Nebraska. Alex Loroff, Terry Gilliland here. We are at the half at the 2019 Western Nebraska All-Star Football Classic. The West currently leading the East at a score of 6-0, and now we are going to head down to the field with Chris Williams with an interview with a lot of family ties as pertains to this Western Nebraska All-Star football game.
Now, for some, this All-Star game is a family affair. I'm here with Mark and Zane Anthony. Now, this is uncle and nephew, both playing in this game right now, so we're going to catch up with them. I understand you had a bit of a trip getting here today. You're not from the area anymore.
No, Eau Claire. It's about a 14-hour trip. That's kind of what our family does is grandmother and aunt drove all the way up to Dallas to see Zane play state championship golf, so we're kind of keeping the same deal as being family support.
And you were kind of telling me earlier it was a no-brainer that you were going to come to this game because it meant so much to you. Can you just kind of talk about what it means to play in these types of games?
Sure. It's just a prelude to what you've accomplished all throughout your 4 or 5 years of playing football in the high school. And it's just a nice tribute. Plus, it allowed me to meet some guys that I was going to go on and play college football with. So that was fantastic.
All right, now we're going to bump over here to you, Zane. So he played in the game 40 years ago. His stats, 3 receptions, around 50 yards. Is that on your mind as we head into this game?
Absolutely. That's all I'm going for. I've got a few pass routes over there that are going to me, so we'll see if I can make it happen.
You guys had a little bit of banter as we were walking over here. Can you kind of talk about your relationship and how having these bragging rights is going to affect that moving forward?
He's always calling me and giving me a hard time, and he's just always called me, texts me after every football game saying good job, and it's a good relationship.
And on the way over here, I heard he was giving you some advice for the game today. What has he told you heading into this game, kind of getting your mindset ready, kind of to prepare for it?
He said just enjoy it. It's a one-time thing. You've earned the opportunity to come out and play, and I've enjoyed it for sure, and now I get to prove it on the gridiron, so see how it goes.
Now moving back over here to you, Mark. He sounded pretty confident that he's going to beat your stats. What do you think?
Well, I hope he does, because he's a great young man. He has a lot of things going for him. And knowing Zane, he's probably made friends with the West team of everyone, and probably even the guys on the East team. Because anytime he meets anybody, he just enlightens them and takes them up to another plateau and will just make their lives a whole lot better. And he always has a smile on his face.
He's speaking very highly of you over there. Have you made some friends? Has it been nice meeting people who maybe were rivals at one point, now teammates?
Of course. I've got some Chase County boys over there. We always used to go back and forth, but now we're good friends. It's a good time.
Well, we're excited to see how the game goes today, and it's cool to see this connection right here. We're excited for play to pick back up.
Our goal here at Faith Regional is to be the regional referral center, and in fact only 25% of the patients that we see in our clinic in gastroenterology, they are coming from Norfolk, with the other 75% of patients, they are coming from the surrounding area. So this is our mission, is to be the referral center for Northeast Nebraska. I totally agree that this is time for us to expand to a medical offices building that is convenient for patients, where they will be able to have all subspecialties available for them in the same building. At the same time, we will be able to have the surgery center there and lab, so it will be very convenient for patients to have everything done in the same building, and I do think their practice will just get busier. Strong faith, healthy future.
And welcome back on News Channel Nebraska. Alex Loroff alongside Terry Gilliland as we are just seconds away from the start of the second half of the 41st annual Western Nebraska All-Star Football Classic. 6-0 is your score, and the West leads the East. And Terry, during half, Chris Williams down on the sideline, a great chance to talk with Zane Anthony and his uncle Mark, who played in this game many, many years ago. And how just cool is it to see that family connections that this game creates, and to see all the players over the years from all these different communities that have played in this game be able to come back and just support their family members, support their friends. Just how great is this community in Western Nebraska?
Oh, it's just amazing. But I think it's that way all the way across Nebraska. People really support their high school athletics, and I was fortunate enough in this game to coach my sons a couple times, and then my grandsons played in this game. But and people come out to support their high school heroes from Friday night, like the Scoffbuff people come out and see the Rice and the other ones that are playing. They support pretty good, but I think they do that all over Nebraska.
Absolutely, they do. As I know as a part of New Channel Nebraska, we are able to see so many different parts of the state and see so many different teams, so many different communities, so many different stories as far as the high school football all across the state. And I absolutely agree there, Terry. The fact that football across the state of Nebraska is just so well supported, so well received by all these different communities. As earlier today on NCN, we had a chance to see the Northeast Nebraska All-Star football game, and that a relatively recent All-Star game edition as far as especially this one is concerned. This one starting in 1978, so to see the All-Stars in the Northeast section of the state, in the western part of the state, next weekend we will be bringing you the 6-man All-Star game as well. Just so many different avenues, so many different stories, so many different communities that we're able to bring you, and this has just been an amazing experience out here at Bearcat Stadium to see the support, even on a bit of a dreary day in some respects, to still see the report that people have for their teams.
Yeah, a little disappointed in the weather. That kind of hurts our crowd, but you know, the people in Nebraska support the girls' athletics, the boys' athletics, the band, the music, the speech, and all that. We just had a East-West volleyball game up at the junior college tonight or this afternoon. We probably had 2,000 or 3,000 people there.
Wow.
You know, so it's kind of big. Athletics and activities are big in Nebraska.
That is fantastic to see, as we are just about a minute away from the start of the second half. And once again, as we take a look at our split screen here, we would like to thank our 2 presenting sponsors of high school football here this evening, as tonight's game brought to you by Cozad Telephone Company, who are here for their local and rural customers today, tomorrow, and years to come. And tonight's game also brought to you by your local Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. So getting set for the start of the third quarter, it will be the West kicking off to the East. The West leading at 6-0. The lone score coming on a 9-yard touchdown catch by Luke Palachek of Ogallala, thrown by Eric Dottie of Sydney, who has been the quarterback for the entirety of this game thus far for the West team. On the East side, they've had Adam Cole as well as Grayson Gary under center throughout that first half. And for the East, the bright spot at the moment is Gabe Sennert. He had 25 rushing yards in that first half for the West. Evan Fisher, just under 40 rushing yards unofficially himself in that first half. Dottie unofficially with 43 passing yards. Does have a pair of interceptions, but that touchdown pass as well. So we're seeing some players step up into the spotlight between guys like Dottie, Fisher, Sennert, as well as a guy like Trent Reed, the 6-man star from Hay Springs. So we'll see who now steps up in the second half as we are underway in the third quarter. A bit of a low kickoff, which is corralled by Nick Neeson on the far side, and he is brought down just past the 30 for some decent field position to start for the East. So we'll see what kind of – go ahead, Derry.
Yeah, we'll see what happened to the East at halftime. If their coaches got a few things ironed out and they're going to get the ball starting here, and not too bad a field position.
That was exactly the point that I was going to make as well. We'll see what Coach Cargill on the East sideline, what sort of adjustments he has made, what sort of changes in the game plan that he has made. As we've talked about it in that first half, the fact that those center quarterback issues have been a big part of the problems for the East so far today, is Brad Swanson with a clean snap to Gary in at quarterback yet again, as the handoff is to the right side for Gabe Sennert, and there's nowhere for Sennert to go in on the tackle there. Efroin Lovato as well as Cam Raffelli.
You know, Lovato's having himself quite a game. He was a running back in high school. I saw their 6-man playoff game, and he was just a beast running the ball in high school. But, you know, 6-man ball, he might have had a hard time picking up some of the things, going to 11-man, but defense, it doesn't matter. He looks good, really aggressive.
Lovato out of Minutair at 1,800 rushing yards during the regular season, and his career 4,000 rushing yards for the Minutair Indians, as the toss is out to the left side, back up the middle. It goes for Gabe Sennert, who has really emerged as the go-to running back now for the East side of things. Has Gabe Sennert, the McCook Bison, who we talked about in the first half, but just the talent that always comes out of McCook, and we've seen that here thus far today from Sennert.
You always know if you're going to get a player from McCook, you're going to get somebody that's aggressive and well coached and listens to the coaches.
Great community down there in McCook, but a great season as well in 2018. Sennert representing them here today, as it's a 3rd down and 5 for the East at their own 37. Dropping back to pass is Grayson Gary. with a short little screen there, incomplete, looking for Paxton Terry, another McCook Bison. They connected on a pass in the first half, but just not there between Gary and Terry.
Yeah, that was just kind of like a little middle screen, and I think a defender got in the way of that pass receiver that time. That probably would have picked up at first 10.
Definitely looked like Braden Fowler was right there, disrupting that play as the East will once again punt it back to the West here. A bit of a short punt this time, and catching it on a hop there is Justin Davis. Davis wrangled out of bounds on the far side. Justin Davis out of Hemingford, seeing some of his first action of the day with a nice little punt return to set up the West.
You know, this whole game has been a matter of field position. Both teams, West and East, have had good field position. The one time that we had a score from it was when they had the ball on the 10-yard line, but let's see what happens.
So the return by Davis will give the West team the ball at their own 44-yard line. Just over a minute and a half gone by in this third quarter. Dottie remains in a quarterback for the West under center. He lines up on this play as handoff is right up the middle for not a lot of gain. Evan Fisher back in at the running back position, which is good to see after he left towards the end of the second quarter. Bit of a limp after a hard tackle, but Fisher back in there and getting that ball right back again.
Yeah, I'm good to see that he wasn't hurt that bad. He can play again, not just for the team, but for himself too, because nobody wants to play one of these games and miss it because of injury.
Absolutely, and we mentioned that Fisher will be a UNK Loper starting this fall, so obviously Fisher wanting to protect himself and be able to contribute for that UNK squad, as that last rush going for no gain from Fisher to make it 2nd and 10 for the West at their own 44. Gotti, short screen to the right side, picked up and trying to make a move there, but not a lot of space to go.
That was a nice thrown ball and a nice catch, but defense came out pretty good. Just a little spot pass.
And that was Zane Anthony with the grab, as you heard during halftime. His goal today to beat his uncle's numbers that he had when he participated in this Western Nebraska Classic.
You know, I've been impressed with East defensive back. That one catch by the Oklahoma boy, he was well covered. He just made a great catch, but they've come up pretty good.
3rd down and 7 now. Dottie again to the right side, again to Zane Anthony, and Anthony able to shake a tackle, and it looks like he's going to have enough for a first down. Looks like he just was able to get there.
That was a nice pass pattern by Anthony. That's a Kimball boy, and Kimball went to 8-man football this year. They've always been good out in this part of the state. They've always had good programs, but they, like everybody else, are kind of losing enrollment. They went down to 8-man.
Zane Anthony, the lone representative of the Kimball Longhorns here today, had 640 rushing yards during the 2018 season, 11 rushing touchdowns, 14 grabs for 288 yards, 4 reception touchdowns. Zane Anthony doing a little bit of everything for Kimball during 2018, as on 1st and 10, the toss goes to the left side, and a great piece of running by Jacob Lemon. Lemon had great blocking out in front of that sweep toss and had a great pickup on 1st down.
He did a nice job of finding this hole. Little toss play. Kind of made a 2-yard run into about a 5-yard run.
Indeed, a pickup of 5 for Jake Lemon, the former Shadron Cardinal, who had 910 rushing yards in 2018. Overall, over 1,200 rushing yards in his career with Shadron. 2nd down and 5 now for the West in East Territory. Yet again, as the handoff is once more to Lemon, who bounces off the pile, able to keep his feet moving, getting room out to the left side, and overall just a great pickup on 2nd and 5.
Now maybe Fisher is hurt a little bit, but Lemon's a Shadron boy, and that's another program out here in the western part of the state that always has good teams. They qualify the playoffs about every year, and Coach Letcher up there does a good job. Shadron's a good football town. They have, Shadron State College, and play good football there.
And that is where Jake Lemon will be heading next year, is to Shadron State College to continue playing football, as he picked up 6 on that last run for a 1st down. Another toss out to the right side now for Lemon, as now Lemon starting to get into a rhythm and has another nice pickup on that toss sweep play as they now are alternating sides as well to keep the defense guessing.
That's two times they've run that, and he did a good job of letting his blocks materialize and then cut back. It's really hard to get people to run north and south in that. They always want to outrun everybody and go to the sidelines, but he did a good job of cutting that up.
22 rushing yards now for Jacob Lemon. As it's a 2nd and 7 for the West. Toss goes to the left side this time. Once again, it's Lemon. But this time, great job by the East as the ball comes out of the tail end of the play. And that will end up as a fumble recovery for the East as Lemon had the ball punched out. And the East able to recover as Lemon lost it just at the tail end of that play after the big hit by Jake Johnson.
Yeah, I don't know who made the recovery, but I know Geister from Cozad came up and played that really good.
It looks like it was Dalton Harshelroad of Juanita Palisade who came up with the fumble recovery. Harshelroad also in that first half had an interception. So now an interception and a fumble recovery for Dalton Harshelroad. And a great job by the East defense. That is what they needed, was to force a turnover.
They're going to have to call a timeout. They weren't sure where to line up. I think they weren't sure of the formation. But, you know, that happens. You might have a kid that had to come in and play on the outside and maybe been playing defense the whole week. So, yeah, those things just happen.
But it looks like Coach Cargill didn't get a time off in time, as it will be a penalty called against the East. Motion penalty going against the East squad will give them now a 1st and 15 at their own 27-yard line, but a huge play by the defense has breathed new life into the East as the toss goes out to the left side for Alec Bunger. Another McCook Bison getting a chance to gain some yardage, but not much there for Bunger.
That was good pursuit by the West team. Number 7, Stinson from Alliance, is the guy that came up and turned everything back inside.
Stinson's had a very good game thus far, as Bunger picking up 3 on that carry. Grayson Gary still at the quarterback position for the East, the former Broken Bow Indian who had 1,100 passing yards in 2018, 1,800 in his career with Broken Bow. They'll line up in the shotgun with 3 receivers to the left side, 1 to the right. He goes to that right side on a short pass, which is caught, and a nice pickup of yardage there on 2nd down and 12.
Yeah, that was a nice throw and catch. Executed that well.
That was Nick Bocott on the grab out of North Platte, making a great reception. His first catch of the day for Nick Bocott.
He's going to Morningside College. And boy, in NAI, there's not any better school to go to than Morningside.
Again, that's what's great to see about this game as well, just the variety of different schools everyone is going to and getting to see the talent that is also on display. But it looks like we had a late penalty there. An illegal motion was called against the East team.
No, it has to be something more than that because they're marking off almost 15 yards.
Well, it looks as if they're saying that it happened before the play, so they're going to repeat 2nd down, and it will go as a 2nd and 17. So they wiped that last play off the books.
I must not have been paying good attention because I wasn't sure what that was.
Well, it was just kind of an odd thing as far as...
I thought they had 1st and 10 or 2nd and short, and must have happened before the play. You're right.
Yeah, late penalty call by the officials, which actually happened before the play even began. So now it's a 2nd and 17 for the East after they had a nice pickup there as Gary looking to go deep to the right side, but it sails over the head of the intended target, Dylan Geiser.
You know what I think happened there is one of the receivers broke wrong because he broke inside and the pass was thrown to the outside.
And again, that just goes to show just the chemistry that has not quite been there thus far tonight for the East as we get another look at the replay. Dottie looking for Geiser, and Geiser kind of bumped there at the tail end by Alec Maddox out of Sydney. No call by the official, and it's now 3rd and 17 for the East. Gary drops back, steps up in the pocket, throws it deep to the right side, and again goes over the head of Geiser as there on the coverage was Cameron Geary. But back-to-back plays Gary looking to go deep for Dylan Geyser, but both times a little overthrown, but also great coverage by the West to deny a clean look.
Yeah, just a little bit overthrown. That receiver ran a pretty good pattern.
There you see on the sideline, bit of encouragement from Hunter Bose giving to Dylan Geyser there. So it'll be 4th and 17. So should be some great field position here for the West after being able to recover from that fumble loss on their previous offensive drive.
Oh, great punt.
Absolutely. Fantastic one by Adam Cole. Takes a great east bounce. Justin Davis picks it up. Looking for room to run, but he is swarmed by a variety of blue jerseys. But what a punt by Adam Cole.
You know, I believe that was a 6-yard punt. And that's quarterback. The coach told me that kid was a good punter. Punted that one well.
Absolutely. Adam Cole, the main punter during the 2018 season for the Haymakers, and is also 3rd year as the starting quarterback for Cozad. And does a lot of things well, does Adam Cole, and did so right there as he pins the West back inside the 20-yard line. They will have it at their own 18 with about 8 minutes left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Dottie in the gun, fakes the handoff, rolls to the left side, looks to air it out downfield. Bit of a wobbly pass, which will fall incomplete. A pair of West receivers in the area, neither able to bring it in, as Luke Palachek again, as well as Keegan Reifschneider, really the 2 top receivers that Dottie was looking for, and it falls incomplete.
See, I think Reifschneider is going to make a great catch out of that. And I think his own man, I have to look at the replay, his own man knocked the ball out.
So Reifschneider and Palachek both colliding. Now they're able to bring that one all the way in. So it'll be a 2nd and 10 now for the West, still at their own 18, as Dottie looking to take a shot on that play that, fortunately for the West, just fell harmlessly incomplete. So another opportunity with the toss out to the right side once again for Lemon. Lemon looking for some space to work with. A short pickup on 2nd down for Jacob Lemon, as Lemon now starting to get himself into that rhythm even more. So a 3rd down here for the West, 3rd and 5 after the 5-yard pickup by Lemon, which has sort of been his average on those toss plays. He's picking up about 5 yards at a clip. And Lemon now with a good job setting the West up with a manageable 3rd down. Dottie will line up in the gun. Once again, 3 receivers out to the left side, a lone receiver to his right. And he will roll to that left side. Pass is caught for a short gain, and being forced out of bounds is Reifschneider. He is ganged up on by about 5 different blue jerseys there. Reifschneider forced out and going to be a couple yards short, it looks like, for the 1st down marker.
Yeah, I thought he made it, but Doty that time did a good job of rolling to his left and getting squared and throwing the football.
So a 3-yard catch by Reifschneider will make it 4th down and 2, and it looks like the West is going to line up to punt here. We'll see if maybe Coach Rhodes tries some sort of trick play, but it will be Cameron Geary getting set to punt. Another run-out kick for Geary, which is going to fall. Initially looked like it was going to fall short, but did take a nice bounce at the tail end. But nonetheless, the East with some great field position after the short punt by Cameron Geary.
You know, Fisher from Imperial must be hurt because he's our punter. He's had some good punts already today, and he wasn't in there then.
That probably is a smart move by Coach Rhodes as far as keeping Fisher on the sidelines to not risk any further injury, as again he is still going to be continuing to play next year, so doesn't want him to aggravate any sort of injuries here in the All-Star Classic, where obviously you want to win this game, but not at the expense of injuring one of these players. So the East will begin at their own 47. Handoff is to the left side for Centert. And a nice piece of running there by Gabe Centert on 1st down.
Yeah, that was good cutback by him. But you're right. You like to see these players play, but the main thing is just having a good fun. You know, game and everything, the score and everything else just take care of itself.
Exactly. It's all about just representing your team, representing your community, and having that one last ride in a high school football environment. And we've seen that already here today, just how fired up the coaches have been for both teams. The celebration we saw by the West team on their touchdown. It's been a fun atmosphere here this evening in Scotts Bluff, as centered again, trying to cut around to the left side, but he was wrapped up and brought down. Looks like that was Lane McGinley out of Valentine who made the first contact to wrap up centered.
Yeah, you know, McGinley's a good football player. He played in the Shrine game and came from Valentine, and he's a wrestler. And I think if you if you go to Valentine, you better wrestle.
Yeah, Lane McGinley, one of the top defensive stars for the Badgers, had 134 tackles in 2018. Overall, 177 for his career. Handful of sacks as well. Lane McGinley, just a ball hawk for the Badgers.
Yeah, he's going to Black Hill State, Spearfish. Somehow he got away from Shattern, I don't know.
Well, it looks like we have our first timeout of the half, which is called by Coach Cargill in the East. We'll take a quick 30-second timeout as well and be back with more of the third quarter here on News Channel Nebraska.
You are a Nebraska farmer. You defined tough. You pushed the limit. You gave it all you had. And when you got to the end of the field, you turned around and we were there behind you every step of the way. Our success is measured by our understanding of your farm. It is measured in your trust in us at Aurora Cooperative. Tougher together, Aurora and you.
Welcome back on News Channel Nebraska. Alex Loroff alongside Terry Gilliland here at Bearcat Stadium for the 2019 Western Nebraska All-Star Classic, the 41st playing of this Western Nebraska All-Star game, as the West team currently leads at 6-0 over the East team, as it is 3rd down and 5 for the East, but not able to haul in the reception there. Was number 22, Colton Munger, as Grayson Gary going to roll out to his right side and find some space, and Munger nearly able to haul that one in, but couldn't quite pull it down to that chest, and it'll be a 4th down for the East.
You know, that was nice play design. He rolled out to the right, and the guy was dragging across, and he was open. Would have been a big gain.
That was actually, now that I saw the replay, that was actually Jake Hearton on the pass. So Jake Hearton trying to get it to Colton Munger, a pair of Keapaha players trying to make the connection on 3rd down and 5, but it does fall incomplete, and a line drive punt is received by Davis, who's looking to bounce his way out to that left side. Justin Davis had a lot of running room in front of him to work with, but a great job on the punt coverage by the East to not allow Davis to get any farther out than he did, right at about the 25.
You know, he's from Hemingford, and that's another program out here in the West that's always good. When I first started coaching at Mitchell, they were 11-man. And then about, I don't know, 10 or 12 years ago, they went to 8-man, and they won the state championship a while back. So they have good players out of there.
Hemingford in 2018 did advance to the D1 playoffs, their 7th straight playoff appearance. They defeated Arapahoe in the first round, but lost to Arcadia Loop City in the second round, 34-28. So close loss for the Hemingford Bobcats in those playoffs, but you saw there they are in the contention really every year in Class D1, and Justin Davis representing Hemingford here this evening. So the West will have it 1st down and 10 at their own 24-yard line with just under 5.5 minutes left to play here in the third quarter, as Dottie was looking to maybe do quite a bit of a play fake there, but there on the coverage.
They were missing a player. They only had 10 players, which by rules you can do that. You just have to have 7 on the line, 4 in the backfield. They only had, or you have to have 7 on the line. They only had 3 in the backfield. I think their fullback wasn't in there.
A bit of miscommunication results in a 6-yard loss for the West. Right there on the cleanup was Dylan Boggs out of Bertrand on the stop. So 2nd down and 16 after the miscommunication by the West. Adi will pitch it out to Davis on the right side, looking for some space back up the middle. But a trio of East defenders take down Justin Davis for really no gain whatsoever. In there was Paxton Terry, kind of the first to make contact.
Yeah, he looked like he had pretty good speed, but he was one of the better Class D sprinters out in the West here.
See on the replay, Davis just trying to find his way through and just nowhere for Justin Davis to go. A loss of a yard on the play will result in a 3rd down and 17 for the West at their own 17-yard line as we approach 4 minutes left to play here in this 3rd quarter. Still 6-0, the lone score. A 9-yard reception by Luke Palachek after a fumble recovery by the West inside the 10-yard line of the East as Dottie's forced out of the pocket to the left side. Flag flies as he connects with Palachek again for a nice pickup, but we'll see what the penalty may be as it was in the backfield as Dottie was looking to roll out to the left.
You know, even if this might get taken back, but that's about the 3rd time in a row that Dottie's done a good job of rolling to his left and throwing that ball. And there's Palachek again. He always seems to be there.
But he is being helped off the field, maybe a little shaken up on that last play there. Palachek did have some injury issues during the basketball season as he missed the first couple of months of that season as well. And it will go as holding, as you mentioned, Terry, against the West, which is declined by the East. So
yeah, the chain guy moved the snaps, I think, or moved the marker. Thought they were going to take that penalty, but I'd take 4th and 8 rather than 3rd and 20.
So 4th and 7 is the yardage now on the punt. Again, nearly blocked as it just hits a wall of wind almost and just dies down right at about the 50. Another short punt by the West will give the East another great field position.
You know, that's one of the disadvantages maybe of that soccer style. You don't know if he's a runner or that. And they did hit him, and if that would have been a straight back punt, they probably would have called that. Because he did hit him after he punted the ball. But, you know, the defense doesn't know if he's going to run or punt the ball.
So it'll be some fantastic field position here for the East as they're going to have it 1st and 10 at the West's 46-yard line as it did make contact with a West player before it was actually downed. So this is where the East will have it. As looking towards the sideline there in some confusion was Paxton Terry. We have another flag on the field here as handoff is to the right side for not a lot of room to run for Alec Bunger, but we'll see what the flag is.
Another McCook kid. That was a good run. He cut that out. Nothing at the point of attack, and he cut back outside.
Looks like we have a penalty against the East. PA announcer says that it will be offsides against the East. So it looks like that is going to force the East back 5 yards here. They're going to redo 1st down. It'll be 1st and 15 at their own 49-yard line as illegal formation is the official call by the official. So the nice play there by Alec Bunger is wiped away after the penalty. So it's 1st and 15 for the East, under 3.5 minutes left to play in this 3rd quarter. Is centered again with the handoff to the left side, sort of slipped up initially, and he is wrestled down, wrapped up from behind by Lane McGinley, who just dragged center down to the field for a probable loss of yardage there. Great play by McGinley.
Yeah, McKinley's kind of all over the place.
And indeed now fully back in at quarterback is Jake Hearton from Keapaha, now at the quarterback position for the East. Hearton had 2,200 passing yards this year for Keapaha as he toss out to the right side. Flea flicker down the right sideline. It goes and it falls incomplete as Alec Bunger on the trick play looking for Nick Bocott down the right side, but it falls through the arms of Bocott and incomplete.
Yeah, I'm trying to look to see who that defensive player was, but that was a good play. Because that probably should have fooled them. They haven't passed hardly the whole game, and they threw that pass, and that was, is that 42 or 43?
Looks like that was 47, Alec Maddox, who was there on the coverage out of this former Sydney Red Raider, was there in the area.
Yeah, Sydney.
So it'll be 3rd and 14 for the East at the 50-yard line with 2.5 minutes left to play in the 3rd quarter as Hearton drops back to pass, and he is going to be bull rushed and brought down for the sack. In there was Braden Fowler for the stop, as well as Gage Hakey in the area, but just nowhere for Hearton to go after the initial pressure here.
Yeah, good defensive stand. You know, there's been all kinds of turnovers, all kinds of good field position for both teams, but nobody can take advantage of it. The one time they did, they got the ball in the 10, so somebody's got to start probably pulling out all the stops, see what's going to happen.
You would think the East is going to start pulling out more of those trick plays, as we saw during that series. The toss out to Bunger, looking for the pass downfield to Bocott. Didn't work that time, but I would bet Coach Brian Cargill is going to try some of those plays as this second half continues, as the punt by Cole will be through the hands of Justin Davis, trying to recover, and it's going to be recovered by the East. A miscue there by Justin Davis, and it is recovered by Trayvon Brooks, the former Broken Bow Indian, with a massive play on special teams.
You know, he misjudged that ball just a little bit. That's one of the hardest things to do, is to catch punts.
Absolutely.
I've coached before when I had a guard back there returning that, a number 60-something. But he could catch him and run a little bit. But another turnover. East got to take advantage of these sometime here.
A huge opportunity for the East with just over a minute and a half left in this third quarter. They have it 1st and 10 at the West 17-yard line as the handoff goes straight up the middle to Paxton Terry for a short gain. So Paxton Terry with a short pickup of 2 on 1st and 10. He now has 10 yards rushing overall. And they will have it at the 15-yard line, will the East, with about a minute left to go in this third quarter. The best opportunity of the evening for the East, as Hearton will hand it off yet again with the quick pass to Paxton Terry, the quick handoff rather to Terry. And once again, Paxton Terry just with nowhere to go, as Coach Cargill trying to go a little bit of misdirection with the fullback handoff there. And
you know, both teams just having a hard time having a go-to play, one play that's just they know is going to be pretty good for them.
So a pickup of 3 on that last run by Terry will make it 3rd down and 5 for the East at the West 12-yard line. Hearton under center. 20 seconds left to go in the quarter. Hearton will roll out to his left, and that pass will be incomplete as he was trying to hit Paxton Terry on the rollout, but threw it behind Terry there, and you can see a bit of frustration there by Paxton Terry that he was not able to haul that one in on the 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, that would have been pretty hard pass to catch, running full speed and having to turn backwards.
You see on the replay there, Jake Hearton just throwing a bit behind Paxton Terry. He had to turn his body to the opposite side to try and make that grab. Would have been a very tough play for Terry, the former McCook Bison. So 16 seconds left in the third quarter. 4th down and 5 for the East at the West 12-yard line. Coach Cargill sends the offense back out with Hearton in the gun. 4 receivers set, but we have a whistle here. Not sure if a timeout was called or the officials conferring at the very least.
You know, they might be talking about that they're in the wrong type of formation, so they're coming along. Because we got on 4th down, you can run any defense. And I think maybe that's what they called. They got up to a 6 or 7 man line, but he waved it off, so have no idea, but I think that might be what it was.
Yeah, it looks like the official did pick up the flag.
Yeah, because one of the back judges came up and threw that, and that's after a couple defensive players hopped up in the line of scrimmage, and he probably just got confused too. But I shouldn't say that. I don't think officials ever get confused.
No,
they're
never.
always right. No, it's a tough job.
One of the toughest jobs in sports, being official at any level. Is just so tough to do.
Yep.
So we reset with a 4th down and 5 for the East. 15 seconds now remaining in the third quarter. It is Jake Hearton out of Keapaha in at quarterback. 4 receivers set. Pressure coming. Hearton able to shake the first defender. Pass over the middle is going to be caught by Aaron Drews. It looks like Drews is going to have enough for the first down. What a grab by Drews as the pressure was coming for Hearton.
Oh, that's quite a play. I thought there's another Valentine kid, number 44, Fowler, that just half an inch away from sacking.
It looks like Drew's shaken up on the play there as we get a look at the replay. Great job by Hearton, able to avoid a couple of different sacks as he takes a huge hit after he got the ball out of the pocket, but able to find Drews.
That's a good play for the East. Maybe they'll be able to take advantage of that turnover.
Absolutely, a pickup of 6 on the grab by Drews, the former Holdridge Duster. The lone representative of Holdridge here this evening makes one of the biggest plays of the day for the East, as it is now first down and goal at the 5-yard line for the East. Best scoring chance the East has had today is Grayson Gary back in at quarterback, but the quarter will come to an end. It runs to a close. We will start the fourth quarter with the East having a first and goal opportunity from the 5. We'll be back with the final quarter of the 2019 Western Nebraska All-Star Classic on News Channel Nebraska.
I'm Dr. Zachary Gangor. I'm a foot and ankle specialist here in the Department of Orthopedics at Faith Regional Health Services. Since I've come here, we've seen a huge growth overall, and especially in our orthopedic department and in surgical services. And although we're grateful for this North Medical Office building and the space we have, to have all the surgical specialties and the surgery center consolidated in one building, but yet still have access to the hospital, I think is going to be phenomenal. It's going to make patient care that much better. It's going to make the patient experience that much smoother. And so this new medical office building is something we're very excited for, because not only is it going to give us the space we need now, but we've been working with the architects to make plans to make sure there's space for the future as we continue to grow and continue to offer new services and expanded services for the people in Northeast Nebraska. Strong faith, healthy future.
Final quarter about to get underway in the 41st Annual Western Nebraska All-Star Classic. Alex Loroff alongside Terry Gilliland at Bearcat Stadium in Scotts Bluff, where the West leads the East 6-0, but a huge opportunity for the East. First and goal at the 5 as the quick handoff goes to Dalton Harshelroad, but just nowhere for Harshelroad to go as that play was immediately blown up in the backfield for a loss.
That was Valentine again, number 55. Kind of the last 5 minutes or so, he's been all over the place.
Lane McGinley, the former Valentine Badger, has had a fantastic evening here. He makes a huge play there to cause a loss of a yard for the East, who have it second and goal now at the 6. Another handoff is now to center, trying to cut back over the middle.
Nice run.
As Gary trying to go with a little play fake there with the quick handoff and trying to fake the pass, but center ran to the right. The cut back to the left was brought down there by Caden Verbas. Pickup of 5 will make it a third and goal at the 1 for the East. Scratching and clawing their way to try and tie this one up. Gary under center. And we have some movement there in the backfield. I believe Dalton Harshelroad flinched before the snap could be administered, and indeed it will be a false start. That is a huge play as Harshelroad just couldn't quite stay set, and now the East push back to the 6-yard line. We've seen penalties be problematic throughout the game here today for both the East and the West, and could have been the biggest one of the night, that false start by Harshelroad.
They get good field position, and then, penalties always kill you. I don't care when they come, or they just do. Even little offsides penalties.
So now third and goal from the 6. Gary under center, fakes the handoff to center, cuts back and completes the pass. Shy of the goal line, though. The catch made by Colton Munger.
Did he complete that?
Looks as if he did.
That was a great pass rush by Ravelli from Okalala.
Only a pickup of 2 yards, though, as you mentioned the pass rush was there by the West. Is a short pickup on third and goal will now make it 4th and goal from the 4 after the 2-yard pickup by Colton Munger out of Keapaha. Gary will line up in the gun as we have a whistle, and it looks like a timeout will be called here, and indeed it will by the East.
You got to. I think if you're a coach, you make sure you got the right play called on here. But you know, even if they don't make it, then the West have to go about 97 yards, and chances are if they can't pick up at 1st and 10, then this whole quarter, the East will have field position. So they'd love to make it, but even if they don't, you know, I think they can look at field position being good for them.
Huge play coming up out of this timeout. We'll take a quick one as well and be back with more on News Channel Nebraska.
May our skies stretch on forever. May our cities feel like small towns. May we welcome new friends and cherish old ones. May pride fill our arenas, and may we always put the heart in America's heartland. It's what makes us Nebraska, and it's what makes Pinnacle Bank proud to be part of your community. Because we're not just a bank in Nebraska, we're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
Here we go, 4th and goal from the 4-yard line. The East with an opportunity to tie things up here as Gary from the gun will roll to the left side. Over the middle it goes, and it's intercepted in the end zone. It is picked off by who else but Lane McGinley, who has had a fantastic second half on the defensive end and comes up with a massive turnover for the West.
Man, he's been cut all over the place, but, you know, that got him out of the shadow of their own goal line, too. They still got 90-some yards to go, or almost 90, but it's not like being back inside the 5.
Just a fantastic play by Lane McGinley, able to jump in front of the intended receiver who looked like it was Dylan Geyser right there at the goal line that Grayson Gary was looking for. But McGinley was right there to jump the route, and you mentioned it perfectly, Terry, that he gives the West more breathing room now as they have it 1st and 10 at their own 18-yard line. Handoff right up the middle it goes, and a great piece of running there on 1st down and 10. I believe that is number 33, Trent Reed.
Yep.
Indeed, that is Trent Reed out of Hay Springs.
Yep, 6-man player, 3,000 yards or so. You know, he's looked pretty good when he's got a chance.
And now with Evan Fisher on the sideline, as we've talked about, maybe some injury issues for Fisher. Trent Reed getting the opportunity to really show his stuff here at the 11-man level after being so successful at the 6-man level. Again, he was heading to Black Hills State University to major in business and continue his football career. As on 2nd down, Dottie's short screen to the left side will fall incomplete as Reif Schneider just couldn't quite haul that one in.
You know, Reif Schneider has a bad wrist that he hurt in the Shrine game, and I've seen him play a lot. He doesn't ever usually miss anything. But Fisher is back out there this last play.
Indeed he is. There's him in the middle of your screen, folks. Evan Fisher back out on the field for this 3rd down and 4.
Big play, or else field position will be good for the East.
Handoff goes to Fisher, looking to find some room to that left side, but great job by the defense of the East, not allowing Fisher to get that head of steam going. We've seen Fisher run through the piles multiple times here today, and they're not afraid to give it to him on those 3rd down situations, but the East able to step up to the task, and they're going to have some good field position here.
Oh, yeah, you know, this game has been all about field position, and only one time has the team took advantage of it. I think that's Fisher back there to punt, so maybe he'll get off a good punt.
So 4th and 2. It'll be a punt, actually from Parker Dillon, who was back there to punt, picking up on a couple of bounces there was Center, trying to stiff arm his way past Zane Anthony, and was able to have a fairly positive return there, did Gabe Center. Some decent field position to start this drive now for the East, who have just under 11 and a half minutes to tie things up. So we'll see if the East can bounce back from being so close, from knocking on the door just their last offensive drive and not being able to punch it in for the touchdown. We'll see if the East can shake that last drive off and get themselves back on track here, as they've really been able to build that consistency up a lot more in the second half.
That's been kind of the name of the game. Both teams taking advantage of the mistakes by the other one.
Hearden back in the game under center for the East. Hands it off to the left side and then up the middle goes Gabe Sennert, who again has developed into the really go-to back for the East.
That was a good hole that time.
Sennert again out of McCook, who will be attending the University of Nebraska-Lincoln for his college career. He'll be pursuing a career in either engineering, education, or medicine. Will Gabe Sennert, but will not be pursuing a football career, at least at the moment. So possibly the last time that Gabe Sennert will be playing football in any capacity, and he's had a great showing so far today, as has Nick Neeson. But the handoff there and was just driven backwards as he looked like he picked up a nice carry, but it was Clark Reeson out of Shadron for the West that just forced him back.
Yep, another Shadron player. They've been pretty good in this game.
Reeson, who will be heading to Shadron State College, like many of the players in this game will next year. Stops that one for no gain to make it 3rd down and 4 for the East, as Hearden able to get it to Sennert after things were very bunched up there right at the snap, but Sennert able to find some sort of lane to sneak his way through, and Sennert able to pick up a 1st down.
They had another kind of a fumble on the quarterback center exchange, and I think everybody closed in that ball, and then the hole kind of opened up.
Coach Jimmy Rhodes out on the field there a moment ago to try to fire up his defense as the East starting to put something together here with it 1st and 10 at their own 48-yard line. And a quick kind of draw handoff to Sennert as Jake Hearden did a great job dropping back, looking like he was going to pass, but just that short handoff to Sennert, almost a sleight of hand. And a great pickup again by Sennert.
Yeah, they're running a little bit quicker developing plays now. Seems to have helped them.
The West defense definitely on their heels at this point after the pickup of 7 by Sennert, who's continued to build his momentum in this second half. Handoff this time goes to Paxton Terry.
Yep, little fullback dive. McCook kids.
The McCook Bison making huge impacts in this game all across the board, but that time Terry dragged down from behind by Cam Raffelli out of Ogallala. No pickup on the play to make it 3rd down. Actually, they will give Terry 2 yards on the carry. So a 3rd down and 1 for the East at the West 44-yard line again. It's to Terry, and he had a huge burst right up the middle, able to get out past the 35-yard line. What a run by Terry. What a job by the offensive line as well, creating that space.
Yeah, I was looking here on the replay to see if it was a trap, but it wasn't. They're just going to a lot of quick hitting plays, just straight fullback dive.
That ended up as a 10-yard carry for Paxton Terry to make it 1st and 10 at the West 34-yard line. Hearden this time goes back to Sennert, able to shake one tackler, but he's dragged down on that right side by Gage Hakey out of Sandhills Thedford.
Yeah, that was a good cutback by the running back, but Hakey had it pretty well covered. That's another program that's always good, is Sandhills.
Sandhills Thedford well represented here today by Gage Hakey. The lone representative, actually, for the Knights. As it is 2nd down and 7 after the 3-yard carry by Sennert. Toss again goes out to the left side. This time that is Alec Bunger on the carry. Little toss action to the left side now for the East, as we saw the West use that to great effect today, but this time it is the East utilizing Alec Bunger for a short pickup on 2nd down.
Yeah, somebody on that side did a really good job of turning that back up, and there wasn't any place for him to run. I think that might have been McKinley again, but I'm not sure.
So it goes as a pickup of 2 for Alec Bunger to make it 3rd down and 5 for the East at the West's 30-yard line, approaching 7.5 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. Hearden will fake the handoff, rolls to his right, and couldn't connect there on the rollout to Paxton Terry. A couple of times that we have seen that rollout play with the short toss to Paxton Terry, but he's not been able to haul in any receptions today, and it will now be 4th down.
Yeah, throwing kind of behind him, but defense for a quarterback when he's rolling out that way and the guy's running full speed, it's really hard play to lead that receiver.
So Coach Cargill, obviously at this juncture of the game, will keep the offense out on the field for a 4th down and 5 opportunity. And 7.5 minutes are remaining in this 4th quarter. Still 6-0. The West leads it as Hearton from the gun will take the snap, but whistles fly as we have a flag on the far side of the field. Looks like that might be a false start against the East. Indeed. It will be a false start against the East, and another just killer penalty when you have a 4th and manageable, a 4th and 5, but now you're back to a 4th and 10.
They had the 1st and 10 picked up. It was good. It was going to be a good game. It's too bad.
The penalties and turnovers have been really the story of this one on both sides. And now the East.
I'd almost think about punting it now. Getting back inside the 10 or so. Think about field position. But we'll see.
Coach Cargill will keep the offense out as Hearton takes the snap. He'll step up in the pocket, throws downfield. Looks like that pass may have been tipped, and it will fall incomplete as that ball, as soon as it came out of the hands of Hearton, was just wobbling through the air and was not a clean toss whatsoever. So a great defensive stand by the West to force the turnover on downs.
Yeah, possibly if the quarterback would have kept it, he might have made it, but the West defensive backs had people covered. I've been pretty impressed by both teams' defensive backs in this game. They've had people covered for the most part.
And maybe a bit of indecision there by Hearton sort of cost him as he did step up. He had some room to run, but instead decided for the last second pass, and it fell incomplete. So it is now 1st and 10 for the West. Now at their own 35-yard line as Dottie, who has been the quarterback this entire game for the West because of plays like that. Deep downfield it goes, and who else but Luke Palachek, who has emerged as his favorite target today. They connect on a huge gain and a 1st down.
Oklahoma receiver again. That was a good play by call by Coach Rhodes. You know, I was expecting just kind of run the clock down, and they faked the run. They pumped the ball once, and good execution.
A 27-yard pickup by Luke Palachek, who has been the go-to receiver all game long when he has been open for the West. Looks like we have a flag here, maybe some more substitution issues.
You know, field position has just been flipped. It was on the east side, now it's on the west.
But it looks like there was a penalty there, as there were a couple of West players that were late in getting off the field yet again. We've seen that a couple of times today with too many men on the field for both teams, as looks like also we'll have a timeout being called here as well, and indeed one will be called by the West. So about 7 minutes left in the 4th quarter. West still leads at 6-0. We'll take a timeout ourselves and be back with more here on News Channel Nebraska.
I'm proud to be leading Faith Regional into this next phase because I think that the vision was started from community board members back in 1999 when they bought that land. And now we're able to kind of bring that vision to reality. We're able to build a complex that will serve not only the needs of the community, but the wants of the community. The one-stop shop, the high-quality healthcare in one building, convenient, accessible to all the community, not just for Norfolk, but right off Highway 275 for folks to be able to very easily and efficiently get the healthcare needs that they want for their family. This building will help us achieve that vision and goal and help us recruit high-quality physicians into an area, into a space that they can see themselves practicing in. Strong faith, healthy future.
Welcome back on News Channel Nebraska. 1st and 15 for the West after the penalty called against the West for having too many men on the field and a timeout called as well by Coach Rhodes. So the West with 2 timeouts remaining, the East has 1. And that last run was for very little gain by Evan Fisher there, so that will make it a 2nd and 14 gain of only a yard. 2nd and 14 for the West at the East's 42-yard line, as we will have a Massive false start here as looks like that was Keegan Reifschneider.
Boy, coach's nightmare, you know, penalties, offsides.
And we've seen quite a bit of those here throughout this game. As Reifschneider went streaking out into his route after, or well before, the ball was snapped by Eric Dottie.
Yeah, there has been an awful lot.
So it will be now 2nd and 19 for the West. The second penalty on this drive after a 27-yard pass from Dottie to Luke Palachek as Coach Rhodes continuing to stay aggressive. And the first play of this drive, that big shot downfield. But then things stalling a little bit here now for the West. And again, with some procedural issues as far as getting subs on and off the field, as far as getting everyone set before the snap. So 2nd and 19, Dottie was looking for the quick pass. Instead, he will throw deep over the middle, and that's going to be intercepted. Intercepted by Dylan Geyser of the East. Geyser made a great play on that ball and comes away with the pick and a massive momentum-shifting play for the East. What a catch by Geyser.
Yep, again, another turnover. Really wasn't a bad play call by Coach Rhodes. He had the receiver open, kind of like a punt right now. But the field position has flipped, you know. The East back on about the 25-yard line. They were on the other side of the 50.
The third interception thrown tonight by Eric Dottie. The first in this second half as he was looking for Zane Anthony deep over the middle. But Geyser was there, jumped the route perfectly to give the East another offensive opportunity here with just over 5.5 minutes remaining here in this fourth quarter as the handoff goes to the left side, but not a lot there for Gabe Sennert. And the East has one timeout remaining as we have 5.5 minutes left to go, and they just haven't been able to finally punch their way into the end zone whatsoever. They've had a couple of opportunities, especially here in the second half, but just can't quite get there. And it's a great opportunity with that momentum after the interception. Looks like Adam Cole back in at quarterback now for the East. Indeed he is as he rolls to the right side. Flag will fly as Cole has a nice pickup, but it looks like that's going to be on the block as Cole had room, but looks like that might be going against the East. Indeed, that will be holding against the East, which created that space for Cole to bounce around to the right side. And again, if you're head coach Brian Cargill for the East, that is absolutely not what you want to see as you are trying to make that comeback, trying to get that last score with only a handful of minutes remaining, and just a killer penalty.
Yeah, penalties have gotten in the way of a lot of good things happening tonight.
So that'll make it 2nd down and 18 for the East as they are backed up all the way to about the 16-yard line here. Clock rolls now. It's under 5 minutes to go in the quarter as Adam Cole will air it deep downfield, and it's going to be caught along the far sideline for a massive gain and a first down for the East.
That was a good reaction to that pass by the pass receiver. It's a little bit short, and he came back and caught the ball.
A little slow to get up there after making the grab there was Alec Bunger, but nonetheless, Bunger, the McCook Bison, with a massive, massive catch there as Cole just airing it out deep downfield. The first big play we've seen from the East so far today, and they have it 1st and 10 at their own 49. Cole remains in under center, but it looks like we'll have another false start. The left side of the line looks like that was Colton Munger who moved before the snap.
Probably time for a Cook player to make a play again. It seems to make them tonight.
Definitely seems like that is the way things are going, at least for the East. Those McCook Bison, those skill players that they have had have really paid dividends on the offensive side of things, especially in this second half, but another penalty, which goes against the East, which will make it 1st and 15. Now back at their own 44, but still great field position for the East as they have just built that momentum as the second half has continued. As Cole hands off to the left side for center, but you could just hear the smack there as center just had nowhere to go.
This kid from Shattered made a good play there. Reason boy.
So it looks like that will go for no gain as we take another look at the replay. Center trying to find some room to that left side, but right there on the stop, Clark Reason not allowing center to get any sort of positive momentum. Pickup of 2 will make it 2nd and 13 at the 47-yard line as Cole drops back. He'll air it out again, but that's going to be intercepted. Intercepted by the West, and they're on the pick, and a huge hit there. Looks like that is Jeremiah Delzer. Indeed it is. The former Scottsbluff Bearcat on his home field makes a huge interception for the West as the East was building momentum, but Cole throws the pick to Delzer, and the West takes back over.
You know, Scottsbluff player, they're used to being in big games, and the Delzer boy is a good track man. He ran about 11-1, 22-8, 200, so he's got speed.
And you saw it here on the return is also some power just lowering his head and bowling right over Gabe Sennert. But it looked like Cole was looking for Nick Bocott, but there was some miscommunication as he almost threw it right to Jeremiah Delzer as he was right in the middle of that route. Cole couldn't go over the top to hit Bocott, and he throws the interception. So now 1st and 10 for the West. The handoff is to Trent Reed. He was brought down for a short gain, dragged down to that left side. Trent Reed has had a very strong second half of action, and the 6-man stalwart out of Hay Springs has really acquitted himself well here to the 11-man game. Short pickup there will make it a 2nd down and 8 or 9 here as the West team very content with just running things down as far as they can as they lead it 6-0 with about 3:15 left to go here in this 4th quarter. From the gun, it's Dottie. Handoff again to Reed, right up the middle. Nice burst there by Trent Reed with a nice pickup of about 7 or so on that 2nd down and 10 play.
You know, Reed's done himself well tonight. 6-man player himself in the town of Hay Springs. He's looked good.
Absolutely, just a great showing by Trent Reed, who just picked up 7 yards there on that carry. So it'll be 3rd down and 3 for the West at the East 32-yard line with about 2.5 minutes remaining here in this 4th quarter. Again, just the story of this game being turnovers as well as penalties, and is taking advantage of field position time and time again as Dottie will keep it himself in the design QB draw, and it looks like he shot himself forward enough to pick up the 1st down, and we'll see where they spot it.
Yeah, another 1st and 10 or 2, and I put the game to bed, I think.
It definitely looks like it is going to be close to a 1st down as they're going to bring the chain gang out here. Coach Rhodes was motioning on the sideline that it was a 1st down, but they'll bring the chain gang out to officially measure here and see if Dottie was able to pick up the 3 yards necessary. And he just is able to, by the tip of the football there, pick up the yards needed for the 1st down as Dottie, who has been at the quarterback position all game long for the West, has made many big plays, some mistakes as well, 3 interceptions, but has played very well really throughout this one and had another huge play there for the West.
You know, they're just about the time of the game, 2 minutes left, only 1 timeout left. They can almost just kneel the game away.
We'll see what Coach Rhodes elects
Not
to do.
quite, but they could.
We'll see what Coach Rhodes elects to do here as there's under 2 minutes to go now here in the 4th quarter. Handoff is up the middle for Trent Reed, but just nowhere for Reed to work with there. He's going to be stopped after very little gain, if any. The last time we had a shutout in the Western Nebraska Football Classic was back in 2012 when the East beat the West 20-0. The last time we only had one score in a game was back in 2002, where the West won 7-0 over the East. So
Well, you're at top of that. I'm kind of impressed.
the beauty of having the nice program right in front of you that was well put together by the folks out of the Scottsbluff Star Herald this week, but history-making night here just as far as the lack of scoring, but that does not mean it has not been an exciting game. Some great plays by both sides, the turnovers by both teams as well. It's been very exciting from really start to finish here today as it's Evan Fisher back in on the 2nd down and 10. Fisher bouncing around to the right side, but we do have a penalty.
Another penalty. I'm glad to see Fisher's okay, though, and that was a
Absolutely.
nice run. He's had about 3 or 4 good runs today.
Some blocking out to that right side there. Tommy Bragg trying to clear the way for Fisher, but we'll see what the penalty is. Might be a hold against the West, as that is sort of in the area of what it may be, in the area of those blockers trying to clear the way for the running back. We do have 48 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter, so it is looking as if the West is going to hold on for the win, but looks like the penalty did go against the West. It is a hold, so that will push them back and negate the run by Fisher.
Was that close to 1st and 10 if they hadn't had the penalty?
It was very close, if not right at the mark.
I was saying if it was a little bit further than that, I wanted to decline that penalty and take them down, and the ball was out of bounds. And
so now 2nd down and long, and the toss is again to the left side, and again it's Fisher with the toss, able to shake one tackle, turn his way upfield, still on his feet is Evan Fisher, and to stay in bounds to keep the clock running.
you know, that was a great run. He stayed in bounds, kept the clock going. Looks like he's pretty healthy. That's good.
That is great to see. And we do have a timeout called by the West here. So they have 1 timeout remaining, East with 1 timeout remaining. 38 seconds left to go in this 4th quarter. We'll take a quick timeout as well and be back with the final seconds of this Western Nebraska All-Star Classic on News Channel Nebraska.
Hayes Roofing and Siding is a proud sponsor of today's West Nebraska All-Star Game. Their local and experienced staff have earned a reputation throughout loyalty, honesty, and providing great service to their customers throughout Western Nebraska. Hayes Roofing and Siding provides free estimates. Their inspection process is thorough, and you will never be pressured into signing up for a service that you don't need. From commercial to residential, there is no job too big or too small. They do it all. Trust the experts at Hayes Roofing and Siding for all of your exterior needs. Call them today for your free estimate.
Zach Pettit from Sydney, and this also he's from Sydney.
Welcome back on News Channel Nebraska as we have 38 seconds remaining here in this 4th quarter. The West leads the East 6-0 in the 41st annual Western Nebraska All-Star Classic. As the West trying to avenge last year's loss to the East, they won 21-13 to the East in 2018. The West won 21-10 back in 2017, and the way it is looking, it seems as if the West is going to hold on for the 17th win in this series history, as we now have under 30 seconds left to play, and it seems as if we're just going to run things out here, and the West is going to hold on for the win. But a great game all around, a great atmosphere here at Bearcat Stadium, and the West, as the second time down, will come away with the 6-0 victory over the East in just a slugfest here from Bearcat Stadium.
Yep, good game. Didn't see any injuries, and everybody, I think, had a lot of fun. That's how you want it to end.
Absolutely, 6-0 is your final. Again, the first 1-score win since 2002 when the East won 7-0, and the first shutout win since 2012 when the East won 20-0. So that will do it for the in-game action as the West earns the victory 6-0 over the East. But we have plenty more post-game coverage coming up for you as we have some MVP awards that will be given out and a lot of accolades that will be awarded in the post-game festivities. So we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we will continue with post-game coverage here from the 41st Annual Western Nebraska All-Star Classic from Bearcat Stadium in Scottsbluff, here on News Channel Nebraska.
So the medical field has rapidly evolved. It used to be one doctor was capable of taking care of everything. But now, over decades, we become more and more specialized, and that there's literally somebody like myself that's a hand surgeon, and then there's the next person that's a cataract surgeon. And by specializing, we become very good at our specific areas, and it's best for our patients, it's best for our communities to have people that are focused on specific problems. It's not to say that generalists don't serve a great purpose, they do. They're the keystone of medicine, but no longer are we in an era where one doctor is capable of understanding everything from the brain to the toes and from an infant to an elderly. You need people that are specialized, and that's what Faith Regional is transitioning into, is bringing in these specialties, becoming a regional referral center. In order to do that, we need a community that's willing to support this mission, and for us it involves a new medical office building to provide office space for them. Strong faith, healthy future.
Hayes Roofing and Siding is a proud sponsor of today's West Nebraska All-Star Game. Their local and experienced staff have earned a reputation throughout loyalty, honesty, and providing great service to their customers throughout western Nebraska. Hayes Roofing and Siding provides free estimates. Their inspection process is thorough, and you will never be pressured into signing up for a service that you don't need. From commercial to residential, there is no job too big or too small. They do it all. Trust the experts at Hayes Roofing and Siding for all of your exterior needs. Call them today for your free estimate.
Side of the ball, number 55, Lane McGinley from Valentine High School. Also, during the week, these are voted on by their teammates. Brought to you by Scottsbluff Screen Printing, the Sportsmanship Award. From the East team, Josh Stahlbaumer from Cozad High School. And your Sportsmanship Trophy from the West team, from the Sydney Red Raiders, Zach Pettit.
So there you have it, folks. The awarding of the offensive and defensive MVP. Luke Palachek from Ogallala on the west is the offensive MVP. Lane McGinley from Valentine on the west as well, your defensive MVP. Also, the Sportsmanship Award winners were announced. For the west, it was Zach Pettit out of Sydney, your Sportsmanship Trophy winner for the West team, and for the East, it was Josh Stahlbaumer out of Cozad, the winner of the East Sportsmanship Award. So again, the West defeats the East 6-0 in the 41st Annual Western Nebraska All-Star Football Classic. We'll take a break, but when we come back, Chris Williams will be down on the sideline with an interview with Luke Palachek as well as Lane McGinley. We'll talk to Coach Jimmy Rhodes as well, and we will have more post-game coverage just ahead for you from Bearcat Stadium here on News Channel Nebraska.
Cozad, Nebraska, remembering our past with a vision for the future and committed to progress with strong infrastructure, the ideal location for growth and development. And that would not be possible without Cozad Telephone Company. With gigabyte fiber to homes and businesses in town, they offer fast and reliable internet, plus 24/7 customer service, managed Wi-Fi routers, and bundling options that let you save. And Skitter TV with over 230 of your favorite channels. Locally owned since 1902, Cozad Telephone is here for their local and rural customers, today, tomorrow, and years to come.
College can be a big expense, but Wayne State makes it easier. As a first-generation student, looking at different colleges, you have to look at the price tag. Wayne State really offers you that affordability, but at the same time, Wayne State education is really sought after by employers across the state. So it's a really great chance to get a great degree, but still come out of it with little to no debt.
Wayne State College. Get started at explorewaynesstatecollege.com.
A warm greeting and friendly face is where your experience begins at Davis Family Dental. Relax in our massage chairs and watch TV while our skilled hygienists take care of you. Our team will take the time to explain your treatment needs every step of the way. We keep up with advancements in dentistry, allowing us to offer top-notch quality care from orthodontics to implants. We accept all insurances and financing is available. Often described as the best dental experience ever, Davis Family Dental, excellence in dentistry.
May our skies stretch on forever. May our cities feel like small towns. May we welcome new friends and cherish old ones. May pride fill our arenas, and may we always put the heart in America's heartland. It's what makes us Nebraska, and it's what makes Pinnacle Bank proud to be part of your community. Because we're not just a bank in Nebraska, we're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
I do love Wayne State College. It feels like home. I don't feel like I'm out of place. It's not too big, it's not too small. Campus is big enough that I'm still meeting new people. I'm still learning about new faces and names, but I'm always seeing people that I can wave and say hi to. It's the best fit for me. When I visited the campus back in my senior year of high school, this is where I knew I wanted to go right away. When I got in that car and I was driving home, I told my parents, this is where I'm going and I don't need to look anywhere else.
Wayne State College. Get started at explorewaynesstatecollege.com.
Hayes Roofing and Siding is a proud sponsor of today's West Nebraska All-Star Game. Their local and experienced staff have earned a reputation throughout loyalty, honesty, and providing great service to their customers throughout western Nebraska. Hayes Roofing and Siding provides free estimates. Their inspection process is thorough, and you will never be pressured into signing up for a service that you don't need. From commercial to residential, there is no job too big or too small. They do it all. Trust the experts at Hayes Roofing and Siding for all of your exterior needs. Call them today for your free estimate.
So the medical field has rapidly evolved. It used to be one doctor was capable of taking care of everything. But now, over decades, we become more and more specialized, and that there's literally somebody like myself that's a hand surgeon, and then there's the next person that's a cataract surgeon. And by specializing, we become very good at our specific areas, and it's best for our patients, it's best for our communities to have people that are focused on specific problems. It's not to say that generalists don't serve a great purpose, they do. They're the keystone of medicine, but no longer are we in an era where one doctor is capable of understanding everything from the brain to the toes and from an infant to an elderly. You need people that are specialized, and that's what Faith Regional is transitioning into, is bringing in these specialties, becoming a regional referral center. In order to do that, we need a community that's willing to support this mission, and for us it involves a new medical office building to provide office space for them. Strong faith, healthy future.
May our skies stretch on forever. May our cities feel like small towns. May we welcome new friends and cherish old ones. May pride fill our arenas, and may we always put the heart in America's heartland. It's what makes us Nebraska, and it's what makes Pinnacle Bank proud to be part of your community. Because we're not just a bank in Nebraska, we're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
Our goal here at Faith Regional is to be the regional referral center, and in fact, only 25% of the patients that we see in our clinic in gastroenterology, they are coming from Norfolk, with the other 75% of patients, they are coming from the surrounding area. So this is our mission, is to be the referral center for Northeast Nebraska. I totally agree that this is time for us to expand to a medical offices building that is convenient for patients, where they will be able to have all subspecialties available for them in the same building. At the same time, we will be able to have the surgery center there and lab, so it will be very convenient for patients to have everything done in the same building, and I do think their practice will just get busier. Strong faith, healthy future.
Cozad, Nebraska, remembering our past with a vision for the future and committed to progress with strong infrastructure, the ideal location for growth and development. And that would not be possible without Cozad Telephone Company. With gigabyte fiber to homes and businesses in town, they offer fast and reliable internet, plus 24/7 customer service, managed Wi-Fi routers, and bundling options that let you save. And Skitter TV with over 230 of your favorite channels. Locally owned since 1902, Cozad Telephone is here for their local and rural customers. Today, tomorrow, and years to come.
Welcome back. I'm here with our Dream It, Do It players of the game from the West All-Star team. They just got their win 6-0, and we'll start with the lone touchdown. You scored the only touchdown of the game. Can you kind of walk us through that play?
Well, we first called a stop route, and so my guy was about 1 yard off, and I decided I'll just turn this into a fade route, and luckily he bid on it, and so we got the touchdown right there.
More importantly, can you walk us through the celebration?
We kind of figured that out beforehand. Me and McGinley thought, might as well go out in style, so we actually did that in practice. We had a roll the boat celebration, so we kind of made it better with the old Titanic at the front, but that's how we did it.
And we were talking while we were walking over here. It's your last high school experience. How are you feeling right now?
Happy and sad at the same time. I mean, it's great I went on a win, but just really sad that it is my last game, but made some really great memories here.
Well, that's Lucas Paluchek, made a number of great plays, going out with a bang. Now moving over here to the defensive player of the game, and this was a defensive battle all night long, and Lane McGinley here had an interception not far behind us in the end zone. Now, can you walk us through that interception when it looked like you guys could maybe be tied up or even go down?
Well, they were on like the 2 yard line or maybe 3 yard line, and then they got a penalty, so they backed up to like the 7, and then they had a run right up the middle that got like 3 yards or something, and then he backed up for a pass, and I knew it was going to be a pass because they ran like 4 run plays in a row, so I knew it was going to be a pass, and then I backed up, and I started going to my left, and then there was no one over there. I don't know why I was going over there, and then I saw like 3 people over to the right, so I just ran over there, and he threw it right to me, so.
And you took it out, and if it would have been open, you think you would have had the energy to go all the way back to the other end zone?
Yeah, probably adrenaline and stuff.
Love that, love that. And then this isn't your last football game. You're playing at the next level. Can you kind of tell us about those plans?
Playing at Black Hill State next year. I think I'm redshirting there, so outside linebacker.
And there were a few other Black Hill State guys that played tonight. Can you kind of talk about being able to be on the same field as them now, and then how that will help you come camp time?
Well, Devin Austin, I've played with him my entire life. He's been on my team since flag football, or I played against him at least in flag football. And then, so I'm used to playing against him. He's great. He's a really good player. And Trent Reed, he's a really great guy. I got to know him pretty well over the past couple days, and he's really funny, great guy to work with. And he's a freaking bull when he has the ball. It's awesome.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, both of you guys. We'll let you go celebrate with your teammates over there. Congrats on the big win. We'll pull in Coach Rhodes over here, our T.O. Haas coaches interview, and they're staying with it. Kind of talk about the camaraderie of this team. I mean, it was clear that they were all getting along very well.
Well, you know what? It started from when we showed up. We from the very first minute, we were all together. It was us, and it was us against everybody. East walked around. They thought they were a little bit better than us, and we just kept ourselves. We kept hanging out with ourselves. We did some things together. We ate together. We were on the bus together. Everything was us, and it just showed. And the camaraderie paid off. You saw one of the baddest group of defensive guys I've ever been around, and they got it done. It was awesome today.
And you're typically a pretty traditional coach, but I know that you were partly behind that celebration there. Can you kind of talk to us about what happened?
Well, actually, I was really hoping we were going to score on the first play. And we had told them that it's like the old Georgia game when they all flooded the field. And I told them, we score, boys, we're in the end zone. And I told them, I go, it's an all-star game. I go, let's go have some fun. And I was all for it. There were several things throughout the week that I got pawned into, from playing rock, paper, scissors with some guys to losing some bets, right? But I wouldn't have wanted it any other way this week. It was a phenomenal week.
It does. It sounds like everyone had a great time all week long, and now your last game as head coach, or at least you say, having such a fun week, such a fun game. Are you going to get that itch come?
You know what? No, I'm not. Nick Cookshausen's going to do a phenomenal job. Dylan Broussard, Joe Yanni. We've got Colby Eberspecher. They're going to do a phenomenal job coaching our football team. And I'm going to stand back and I'm going to stand on the track and try and keep my mouth shut over there and not solicit plays to them and tell them, hey, go for it and all that stuff. But no, I wanted this to be the way it is, and it was exactly how I wanted it to be. 6-0 game. We've been averaging like 35 points a game for the last couple of years, and to win a 6-0 game, I'm proud of them.
That's nice. That's Nebraska football right there, right?
I would have took 35-0 though. I would have took 35-0 because I was starting to get a little stressed out there. It was perfect though.
Well, congratulations to all three of you guys, and I feel like you really showed the way Nebraska football is played and kind of showcased the way it's played out here in the West, on a statewide platform. So congratulations. We're going to take a quick break here on NCN. When we come back, we'll wrap up our post-game show.
Go West.
Our goal here at Faith Regional is to be the regional referral center, and in fact only 25% of the patients that we see in our clinic in gastroenterology, they are coming from Norfolk, with the other 75% of patients, they are coming from the surrounding area. So this is our mission, is to be the referral center for Northeast Nebraska. I totally agree that this is time for us to expand to a medical offices building that is convenient for patients, where they will be able to have all subspecialties available for them in the same building. At the same time, we will be able to have the surgery center there and lab, so it will be very convenient for patients to have everything done in the same building. And I do think their practice will just get busier. Strong faith, healthy future.
Casey and Melissa Williams, owners of Aero Aviation, have been in business since 1971, serving Custer and surrounding counties. Their aircraft is equipped with the latest in GPS and flow control technology, enabling them to apply crop protection products in a timely and efficient manner. Casey strives to perform quality work for his valued client. His ability to apply pesticides rapidly at their optimum time is a big advantage for aerial application. Aero Aviation in Broken Bow, helping ag producers in central Nebraska for over 45 years.
Welcome back on News Channel Nebraska. Once again, Alex Loroff alongside Terry Gilliland here at Bearcat Stadium as we wrap things up from the 41st annual Western Nebraska All-Star Classic. You see it there, 6-0, the West defeating the East. Just a slugfest that the West was able to come out on top of, and just seeing the energy that Coach Jimmy Rhodes had down on the sideline talking with Chris Williams, how impassioned he was with his team all week long, and with this being his final game as a high school coach is just so incredible to see. And just all the players that were out here today, Terry, just so incredible to see the passion that everyone out here has for the sport of football. And what were your final thoughts on this year's edition of the Western All-Star football game?
I've been around both teams and both coaching staffs all week in the practice of that, and both teams had a lot of fun. They looked like they had a good relationship with the coaching staff, and if you're a coach, that's what it's all about, getting relationship with those kids, and they'll come back and they'll talk to each other years from now. But I think the biggest thing you can say is football, and football in Nebraska, it's got to be good. It doesn't matter. It's just a good game, a good time to have it. But I think everybody probably enjoyed this game, got a lot out of it. The fans enjoyed it, and you guys just do a tremendous job in East Channel, Nebraska. I'm proud to be part of it.
Yeah, we appreciate you being a part of this, Terry. I know, speaking for myself, all of our crew, we greatly enjoyed being out here in Scottsbluff for the first time and broadcasting this game to everyone in the entirety of the state of Nebraska to let them know what kind of football, what kind of players, what kind of people are out here in the West as far as the communities that they represent, and it was just so incredible to be here today and so incredible to be a part of the festivities here as well. So we appreciate the hospitality, and thank you so much for joining us today, Terry.
Yeah, we're really glad that you came, and I really appreciate what News Channel Nebraska does. We watched the state track meet, watched state basketball tournament. You're doing a lot of things. You do a lot of Friday night high school games, and all the coaches I've talked to, like the COSAD coaches, you were down there, they really appreciate what you do. So it's a good thing, and it's all for the kids, and that's the number one.
Absolutely, all for the kids, as you see just some of the highlights of this one as the West team wins it 6-0 due to that touchdown right there. Luke Paluchek, your offensive MVP, hauls it in from 9 yards out for the score. That would be the lone score, and that would be all the West would need to come away with the win here this evening. Well, that's going to do it for our coverage as we take one more look of the fantastic celebration that both Luke, Lane, and Coach Rhodes talked about the idea for developing that celebration. It was just so great to see. Again, that's what you want to see from an all-star game. So with that, we are going to wrap up our coverage here from Bearcat Stadium. For all of our great camera operators, for Ed, for Edwin, for Larry, for Will down in the truck, who does such a great job today and each and every day he is out there broadcasting our games, for Chris Williams doing a bang-up job on the sidelines, as always, with some great interviews all game long. Terry Gilliland, thank you so much for your insight, for the opportunity to be alongside yourself here and be a part of this whole evening. And for everyone else involved, for everyone watching back at home, I'm Alex Loroff. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Western Nebraska All-Star Football Classic, and we'll see you next time on News Channel Nebraska.
May our skies stretch on forever. May our cities feel like small towns. May we welcome new friends and cherish old ones. May pride fill our arenas, and may we always put the heart in America's heartland. It's what makes us Nebraska, and it's what makes Pinnacle Bank proud to be part of your community. Because we're not just a bank in Nebraska, we're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
You know, a lot of times we talk about growing rural communities and what do you need to do that, and the conversation is dominated by affordable housing and workforce training. I think one thing that gets lost in those conversations is quality of life, and essential to a high quality of life is a good healthcare system, and one that has vision for growth and continually grows to meet the needs of the community. And I think that's what you're seeing here with Faith. Faith has recognized the needs of our community and our region and has prepared for growth in the right way and is preparing to meet those growing needs. And so the benefits of this expansion, the benefits of having a regional hospital, a regional referral center that has the vision to grow and meet the needs of a community and a region, those benefits can't be overstated. Strong faith, healthy future.
The medical field has rapidly evolved. It used to be one doctor was capable of taking care of everything. But now, over decades, we become more and more specialized, and that there's literally somebody like myself that's a hand surgeon, and then there's the next person that's a cataract surgeon. And by specializing, we become very good at our specific areas, and it's best for our patients, it's best for our communities to have people that are focused on specific problems. It's not to say that generalists don't serve a great purpose. They do. They're the keystone of medicine, but no longer are we in an era where one doctor is capable of understanding everything from the brain to the toes and from an infant to an elderly. You need people that are specialized, and that's what Faith Regional is transitioning into, is bringing in these specialties, becoming a regional referral center. In order to do that, we need a community that's willing to support this mission, and for us it involves a new medical office building to provide office space for them. Strong faith, healthy future.
I think it's very important for patients to have access to great health care, but on top of it, be close to home. Specifically with my cancer patients, they go through a lot. That diagnosis is very overwhelming in itself and has an impact not only on them, but on their families as well.
And I also think it's important that the quality of care they're receiving is equal to what they would receive at a larger institution. So I think it's incredible that we can provide that for them right here.
I think that the expansion is necessary for the community because the hospital is very forward-thinking and they're trying to expand to different specialties.
Dr. Norris and I are fairly new, but we've already become very busy and we're kind of limited by the constraints of our space that we have currently.
As they add more people, of course we need more room to accommodate that, and we want every patient to experience the best care. Strong faith,
healthy future.
Cozad, Nebraska, remembering our past with a vision for the future and committed to progress with strong infrastructure, the ideal location for growth and development. And that would not be possible without Cozad Telephone Company. With gigabyte fiber to homes and businesses in town, they offer fast and reliable internet, plus 24/7 customer service, managed Wi-Fi routers, and bundling options that let you save. And Skitter TV with over 230 of your favorite channels. Locally owned since 1902, Cozad Telephone is here for their local and rural customers, today, tomorrow, and years to come.
Aulick Industries is growing and looking to hire quality applicants with a strong desire to grow with us. Multiple positions are available in Scottsbluff and our new location in Grand Island. Find out what job is right for you at aulick.com/careers. That's aulick.com/careers, where you can apply, send your resume, or simply print out an application and come see us at one of our locations. We look forward to you becoming a part of our team that has been building superior material transport equipment since 1952.